Started out alive, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the sight faded, I had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing lost to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sippin' Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. New Zealand's vibe, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling, rolling deeper, cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Jacking crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Give us a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Script is how we play a game. From start to the next time, chasing fame. But the year behind me, changing scenes. So through the internet, living out the dream. Got my acoustic strum, curing and chill for cracking jokes. Go stop the thrill. In the land of Kiwis, we ride the waves. Our own streams phone, no better days. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme.
Hello, the internet. It is Friday, the 8th of August, 2025, and welcome back to the channel. Hey, I believe everything is back to normal. Everything's running as it should. We yesterday decided that the problems we were having was all related to the socialstream.ninja. Yo, Charles, how you doing, man? And there it is, right on the screen, right on the screen. The chat's working fine. We're going to drink, we're going to pour. I appreciate that. I will be having a homebrew on this stream today, but not just yet. Let's get through some important information before we have a little beer action. The content of the stream, why are we still using uneditable PDFs? I don't get this. I don't understand. It's 2025. You get a form, you got to fill it out, and the PDF is not annotatable. You can't edit it. It's just super frustrating. Or you can edit it, but you can't edit the whole thing. What am I talking about? Let's get directly into it. Over here is a tax file number declaration form. This is a very common form that you need to fill out if you're in Australia and you're starting a new employment, or your employment has, they've made changes in their back end and there needs to be an update of some sorts. So you got to fill one of these out. Now, all this is, the only thing this form is linking a person to an employment and including their tax file number for that linkage. So it's all in the one place together. The government receives this form, they add your tax file number, they say you're employed by so-and-so. So, okay, cool, and that's your address. Everything's cool. This form should be so straightforward to fill out, right? So you scroll down, you read all this crap, you do all that, and then you start filling the form out, and it starts off here. And obviously, at this point, you can put in tax file number, and then you just have to, well, I thought tab to the next box, but no. So if you start typing, okay, so it's a bit clunky. space, da-da-da-da, another space, da-da-da-da. Okay, so that's fine, right? You get down to there, and then let's just say you're filling in your first name. You want to be a Mr. Let's call yourself Joey Jojo. You want to fill in Joey Jojo, Joey Joe. You don't want to give any other names. What is your home address? 123 Fake Street. This is irrelevant, but I'm illustrating a point. Suburb will be Pluto. Luti. State. And this is where it becomes an issue, right? Watch this. State. I want to put my state in as New South Wales. NSW. Click the button. Nothing. Finish typing the street. Did you finish typing the street? Yep. Space or tab. Tab gets you into the postcode box. Put in a postcode of 2222 just for shits and giggles. How do you get to choose this? Cannot choose it. Cannot choose it. There's nothing you can do to annotate this form. Now you might say, aren't you using a funky browser, dude? Don't you use Brave? No. This isn't a browser-based situation. This is in preview. This is the default PDF viewer and annotator that ships with an Apple Mac computer. Now you might be using a PC and maybe there might be something different. I'm not sure. I'm not a PC guy. I'm a Mac guy. This is what we have, preview. You can see, you might not be able to see, it's kind of small at the top of the screen. Where's my mouse? Here. Top of the screen up here, preview. That's the app we're in. And yeah, you should be able to annotate state or territory, but you can't. So you get stuck. So what did I do? I made a PNG file with a alpha channel on the background, so it was translucent, and I typed the letters NSW, and I made that in Photoshop, and then I dropped it over the top of this file. It seems so cumbersome and so clunky to do that, which also reminds me of the signature part here. Yo, Charlie, postcode should tell them what state. This is true. This is a good point. This is a very good point. Postcodes are obviously state by state based. So if 2, it's New South Wales, 22. If you put in 22 something, 22 anything, it should come up with, yeah, New South. You're right. It doesn't, and that is not a drop downable arrow. It's the whole thing. And you know what the problem here is? Aside from me getting a little rant going, the problem is when you're filling this form out, you just want to get it done. You don't want to faff around with it. You just want to do it and be done with it. But when you encounter issues like this, it just becomes such another burden. And you're like, man, I really don't want to mess around with this crap. When you go to sign this form, you must sign here. So all you can do is type in this box. That's all you can do. You can't sign it. What are you talking about? You must sign here. Make it editable, make it droppable. Why can't you just drop a file on top of that? Now that's again what I did. I took a PNG of my signature and I dropped it over the top. And then I flattened the file. Actually, I did this in Photoshop. So you might not even have Photoshop access. So you might be stuck, right? But I did it, I flattened it in Photoshop. It's it's 2025. What on earth is the tax? And by the way, this is ATO, the Australian Taxation Office. There may be other people, other organizations, other businesses that are still stuck in the 90s for this crap. The tax office, you think, will be one that is actually at the core, at the forefront of technology, right? They'd be the ones that have adapted and adopted new tech and making it seamless. No, they're still using this clunkified rubbish from the 90s. It's baffling. And look, I could continue on here. There are other things that stuck out to me, like such as if you're using an input field for an email address, why isn't one of these fields pre-selected as an @ symbol? Everyone that fills out an email is going to use an @ symbol. So if you put one there by default that can be moved around, you know that people are going to use it because that's part of an email address. So no one can, you can't sign a form or you can't annotate a form with an email address without using an @ symbol. So why don't you put it there? Make it super obvious for people. Make it easy for people. That's pretty much the rant I had here. I guess that's the bulk of my argument or my But by the way, just a side note, people say, oh, but dude, why don't you just print it out? Why don't you print it out? I don't own a printer. I don't want a printer. I don't need a printer. Why would I want a printer? Why do I need a printer? I don't. If you don't have a printer like me, what are you meant to do at this point? Are you meant to go to the library and print this? Go to a library? What the hell's a library? Who uses a library? Go to a library and make a print? Pay 20 cents for a print? And then what? Fill this out with pen? And then go and buy a stamp? You got to go to a post office and buy a stamp and an envelope? And you got to put this in the mail and mail it? It's 2025, man. Why are we faffing around with this crap? Like this is illogical, right? It needs to be snapped into this century we live in. Maybe you agree with me. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think, boy, you're really aggressive today, aren't you? I'm not aggressive today. I'm aggressive whenever I need to fill in one of these freaking forms. That's for certain. Romancello over on Soulbound, I see you're choosing me. Thank you for that. Unfortunately, soulbound.tv doesn't have a link to the uni chat on beamstream.gg. So I can't see your chats unless I visualize them. And I see you followed as well. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for that. I can see it, but it doesn't come up on the stream here until soulbound.tv allow that feature, or is it Beamstream that needs to fix that? I'm not too sure. This will work on any other platform that you might choose to watch. In this case, Charles is watching over on Kick. My recommendation, if you are asking, where should you watch my content? My recommendation will be to do it on Kick. The reason? We have alerts that you can trigger. So you can trigger certain no, I'm live. Hold on a second. I gotta take this. Do I have to take this? I'll take it. I'll be quick. I'll be super quick. Hey, I'm live. Shit. That's all right. I'll call you when I'm done. See ya. Yeah. Kick. If you watch this content on Kick, you can then use the shop, which is !shop, and then you can trigger alerts for the stream to hear. It's kind of like a soundboard, but you're doing the triggering. It's pretty cool, and it's free. You start to earn these credits that you use by watching the content. So if you watch and you comment, you start to earn these credits, and then you can use them to trigger alerts. Pretty cool, pretty fun. And it's all about having fun. Yo, Charles, and you got these funky little annotations that you can pop up all over the screen like that. That's one of them, or that's a version of them. However, I will also rewind and say, if you're going to watch it on Soulbound, that's great because you're earning the token by watching. So you might want to watch over there because you might want to do both. I've got both open. I've got Soulbound and Kick, but I'm streaming. But you might want to just sort of do the thing and earn the thing because you're getting it right now for free on soulbound.tv. Now, I am broadcasting everywhere else as well. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Trovo, DLive, all the places. YouTube, hello YouTube. I'm all over the shop. I tell you what, I'm looking down at my streaming encoder here. No issues. Not a single issue. We got rid of Social Ninja for the chat, and I haven't had a single issue. No overload, and I jumped back up to 1080-60, so we should be in very clean, smooth motion. I'm 60 frames a second, 1080p. No dramas since we removed the social stream chat overlay. That's out of the project, out of the system. We're good right now. We do have a bunch of content to consume here. We're going to react to some videos. We're going to kick back. I'm going to eat some more biltong. This is a South African delicacy, and I've been told that once you've started eating it, you probably should get to the end of it soon. That goes really well with a homebrew beer, so I'll definitely endeavor to slide that down my gut in a little while later on. So yeah, I guess what I want to do right now, I'm going to go and grab myself a coffee. That will give you guys a chance to see my surfing from today. I went surfing today. I haven't been surfing for about 2 weeks, maybe a bit longer. Too long. I know too long because my body was like, ugh. It was not aching, but definitely didn't have the energy or the power that I'm used to. And we're on the back of a big swell right now. The swell was thankfully my level. I could ride the waves. It wasn't too gnarly, but there was a couple of times when I got stuck for a while paddling and it wasn't fun. Sophia, how you doing? Why haven't you finished your biltong yet?
Precipitation.
Precipitation. Sophia, in uppercase, yelling at me. She says, well, they say, why haven't you finished your biltong yet? I'm working on it. I am working on it. I got it. Okay. That, all right. I missed that. Stop yelling at me. Can hear you all the way across the Bass Strait. Yeah, so I went surfing. I got a clip for you. I'm going to run out, grab myself a coffee. If I'm not back in time and the surfing clip finishes, what you will see is a blowfly doing aerobics on a piece of styrofoam. Yes, you will. Yes, Sophia is who you think it is. Well, it's lovely to have you here, Sophia. You know what would be lovelier, though? To have you here. That can't happen, though. Got an update for you about that, too. Definitely talk to you about that later. And there's some fun stuff coming. Anyway, look, I'm all excited, and I'll be back with a coffee. Wait, you can't see, you couldn't hear the waves? No sound, can't hear, really? In that whole surfing clip, you weren't hearing. Yo, Just Rev, how you doing, man? Dale hey Dale, where's Dale? Didn't see Dale. I'll stop derailing your live stream. No worries, Sophia. That's weird. Okay, why would that be? Look, at the risk of just checking it myself, I'll just run it again, and I won't play the whole thing, but I just want to know. Nothing at all. Okay, hold on. Of course, you wouldn't have been able to hear me then. Yeah. So I was saying, it was my mistake, and it was a dumb mistake. I should have been able to spot it, but I didn't. Just for those that want to know, or for those that are curious, I run all of my audio. It's kind of weird, actually. My audio goes from my laptop, and it goes into the Rodecaster Pro 2, and then it goes back into my laptop, into the OBS software, and that's what streams it out. So I don't really do, I do very, very little audio manipulation inside OBS. It's all done on this hardware encoder, basically, hardware mixing console. And so on my Stream Deck, when I set up the multi-action command to run that video, I wanted to kill this mic because I don't want the mic to be open when I'm not in the room, right? Maybe we're having a chat, maybe something private's happening and I don't want that to go to air. So in the Stream Deck, I killed the microphone, but of course killing the microphone is actually killing the microphone, which is all the things. So in OBS, mic/auxiliary is all of the stuff coming from the Rodecaster Pro, and all I wanted to do was to kill this mic, not all the other content that's coming from it. So pretty dumb mistake. Yo, Just Rev, thank you, man. Pretty dumb mistake of mine. And it should, I just removed that from the multi-action. If you don't have a Stream Deck and you're a streamer, man, you should get one. I don't know. I mean, streaming with a Stream Deck, it's just, I use it for not just streaming. I use it for like various apps. Like I've got a bunch of commands in Final Cut Pro that run different send to compressors and different things that I do repeatedly. I also have it on my browser when I'm uploading multiple videos to YouTube that I'm going to set to different live times. So I want to upload content that's going to go to air next year. I have like 20 tabs open. I've got a Stream Deck command that I can just tab through them all real quick. It's super cool, man. Can't you just mute the mic at the mic? Of course, Just Rev. The idea of pressing the Stream Deck button is just a one and done and everything gets done. But of course, I can go over here. See, I can press this button and then it's muted and muted and muted. I can do that, but that's another button. And I just wanted to do it in one. Now, let me just try it now that I've said I've told you how it works. If I press the one button, browse the clip, you'll hear it. Wait for it. There it is. And you also got my mic open as well. So you have my mic and you have the audio from the surfing clip. And of course, I can now mute my mic. You couldn't hear it, but... So there's no need to play the whole clip again, but yeah, that's... Yeah, thanks for letting me know, by the way, because I'm a dum-dum and I didn't even think of it. And when I looked at the Stream Deck command, I was like, of course, man, you muted the mic. Why would you do that? You did that to yourself. Shit, that's hot. Well, look, let's move on. What's this video? This is from a channel called the BM1, the B1M. How an impossible building changed construction forever. It did what when it did it? How? Who? Building did this? Okay. Play.
People said this
Hold on. Now I can't hear. Oh, no. Having said all that, you idiot. Man, this is going to be a problem. I've been streaming 5 years, not just using OBS or no other hardware. Okay. Give me a second to work. Oh, you idiot. This is bad of me. Restart capture. Hang on, hold on a second. I might have messed up here on this stream. Yeah, I think I've messed up here. Because this audio, I've discovered a little glitch. The glitch is when you first open OBS and you're bringing in a browser source, I've discovered that you have to close OBS and then open it again. It's a little funkified glitch. The problem with that, of course, is I'm live right now and I can't close OBS because that'll close the stream. So I'll just check my loop back. See if it's that. So we've got OBS coming in, monitoring. There's no audio coming in from that. You idiot. I can't believe I didn't check this before the stream. So how can I verify? Desktop audio capture. Application audio capture. NetTV showed me how to use OBS, and that's all I've used for going on 6 years. Man, I can assure you, if you got a Stream Deck adding to OBS, you would love it.
Citizens.
Okay, I just restarted the capture. Fine. It's all fine. So we're good to roll. I'd have to restart the audio capture. It's all good.
People said this building couldn't be built. There were also those who said it shouldn't be built.
There was a lot of skepticism.
What resolution is this, man? 1987? Give me some real resolution. Quality. Let's go 1080p. No, let's go higher than that, man. I want 1440.
In a destitute city, devastated by the loss of industry, this was a huge gamble its citizens could kind of do without.
This project was going to be a success for everybody or a failure for everybody.
Who put this in the Discord? Hendrik?
Philip Johnson calls it, quote, the greatest building of our generation.
But in one last throw of the dice, this building defied all the odds and in doing so, changed the world.
It immediately was hailed a masterpiece when it opened in 1997.
Looks like a set off Star Trek or something.
Today, we're used to seeing buildings that defy the laws of physics, but back in the early 90s, when work first began on the Guggenheim Bilbao, there was nothing on Earth that looked anything like this.
Considered by many to be a masterpiece.
We got to maybe push things further than have ever been done.
The Guggenheim.
It was built using software developed to design fighter jets. It kick-started the use of 3D tech, leading to a revolution in construction. It made a global superstar its architect and transformed its host city from a downtrodden backwater into a thriving global destination. And if all that weren't enough, it was so successful it went on to become a...
spoiler alert, I've got to admit, I've never known what the Guggenheimer is. I've heard of this word, but I've never known what it meant. Just Rev, it looks like it was made by the same guy that made Seattle EMP, the ugliest building in Seattle. Is that a fact? Let's have a look. Seattle EMP building. Let's see what that's all about, man. Okay, so we'll go to images. Okay, yeah, that's an eyesore. Are we on 100% there? Yeah, that's an eyesore. Looks like tooth. Looks like the insides of a mouth. Okay. Look how many tabs we got up the wazoo here. We're getting through them slowly. Play.
Template for urban regeneration that is still in use today. In fact, you're probably living near somewhere that was inspired by this structure. How it was built is a story that involves Russian submarines, rock climbers, and a giant fish.
We've got the Sydney Opera House, which is a pretty, let's be honest, it's a pretty ugly building, right? The Sydney Opera House. It's earned its credit by being quite well loved, and it's photographed a lot in various different lighting scenarios and whatnot. So it's familiar, but it's actually quite a hideous looking building. I think I've always thought it looked a little bit strange. It's meant to resemble sails, like sailing ships.
But most remarkable of all is the fact that despite its outrageous design, it was completed on time and on budget.
What are they doing there?
Our story begins back in 1991 in northern Spain. Forget the sun, sea and sand of the south. This is the Basque Country.
Basque Country. I've been there. Loved it. It was going to be the Jimi Hendrix Museum, the Jimi Hendrix Music Experience. Well, you mean Jimi Hendrix? You spelled that wrong. I think I know. You mean the Hendrix. Jimmy's family pulled out because the place is so ugly. Is that right?
Historic industrial heartland. It was an area of mines, factories, and more than its fair share of rain. Its largest city, Bilbao, had been a prosperous hub of heavy industry, with steelworks and shipyards lining the NIRVAN river that ran through it. But as the world changed, its industries couldn't keep up with overseas competitors, and in the 1970s, it fell into long-term decline.
Bilbao was, and the whole region at that time was undergoing a fairly fundamental crisis. The city, which had been a very wealthy area from the end of the 19th century through the end of the 20th century, was undergoing a major challenge.
As industry collapsed, the city was gutted. Between 1979 and 1985...
Hey, Sophia, if you're still watching on YouTube, I just made you mod because I trust you. Not that I need another mod, but if I'm ever going to ask someone, it's going to be you. And you don't have to do anything, but if someone comes in and they're being a dick, you can deal with it.
A quarter of all industrial jobs were lost.
And 1991 is a moment where, I mean, just to give you an idea, it was just 3 years after a fairly important shipyard, which was located very right in the middle of the city, had closed. The Schengen Treaty was signed. Spain was just 5 years into the European Union. It was just 3 years after the Berlin Wall had fallen. So it was a moment of change.
Bilbao was down but not out. The Basque government seized the moment and decided to fundamentally change the economy of the city, placing at its heart an industry that few people...
Who's this guy? We're 3 minutes into this video and all of a sudden the narrator shows his face. Nice to see you, buddy.
...would have associated with this place beforehand. Tourism.
Nobody believes that. Well, we have talked about the social crisis, the industrial crisis, unemployment, both terrible tragedy. You join that with Bilbao, the ugliest city in the world.
That's a bit of a harsh statement.
Horrible.
The plan was ambitious, blending practical infrastructure with landmark projects, all driven by major international architects. Foster & Partners was commissioned to design the city's first metro, while Santiago Calatrava was brought in to create a new pedestrian bridge.
That's Jerry Seinfeld, surely.
First metro, while Santiago...
That's Italian Jerry Seinfeld. Kind of.
Calatrava was brought in to create a new pedestrian bridge and a modern international airport. But the centrepiece would have to be something truly extraordinary.
How you doing, Charles? How you doing, man? Hello. What's cracking?
A museum big enough and bold enough to stand alongside the world's greatest cultural institutions.
There you go.
To do this, the Basque government partnered with New York's Guggenheim Foundation.
That's
To do this, the Basque government partnered with New York's Guggenheim.
That's Sydney, isn't it? Isn't that the a roundhouse? No. Okay. Looks like Sydney.
Foundation.
Wait. Where are the cars? Cars are on the wrong side of the road. Ah! My bad. Oh, shit.
Pay for the building, as well as a one-off payment to the Guggenheim to license its name and allow access to the Foundation's collection. But with such a huge amount of taxpayers' money being spent on a speculative project, when unemployment...
I really have to remove this kill switch that's right on my knee. That's the dumbest position for it. I don't know what I was thinking. I got to remove it from there. I just tapped it with my foot, with my big fat thigh.
was sitting around 20%, the public reaction wasn't great.
The project itself was very controversial from the beginning. There was a lot of resistance to the idea of the public institutions spending money in a cultural institution instead of the more kind of basic needs of the time.
A competition was held to choose a design for the museum, with participants given just 2 months to develop a proposal. To avoid any further controversy, 2 very clear stipulations were made right from the outset.
Who's this guy again?
Under absolutely no circumstances could this project be late or go over budget. And with those 2 things in mind, this is the design they chose.
Now that's just a kid's drawing, right? I mean, Hendrik, are you watching? Are you stealth watching, H-Man? What's this? This isn't architecture in Bilboa. This is just scratchings, right? Is this? Are they going to sell this as an NFT or something? What is this crap?
The panel decided on Frank's...
You can't tell me they designed a building after this. This was the inspiration, these 3 scratchings? Yeah, we'll make that, man. We'll make that. That's like Homer drawing that car that he wanted to make.
Design, which, although it was probably the one which made everybody more nervous about how can you build that, it was fairly clear that it was the one who had understood and reflected better the different goals.
This is a wind-up, right? This can't be for real. That's the design of a building? That's just garbage. That's just scratchings on a napkin. Right here is where he's just testing the pen's working. Right there, he's just testing the pen's working. And then he mistakenly drew this 3 times to try to... He's even scrubbed it out. Look, he's scratched over it. This one's got like scratching over it. Like he's like, oh, don't worry about that. That's rubbish. You can't be serious that they designed a building based upon these drawings. AI could do better. Right on. I've been using AI to generate thumbnails for previous streams. I've been mixing up which ones I use. I'm using Google Gemini at the moment. And you are, like, just a side note here, you ask AI to generate a thumbnail exactly 1280 by 720, less than 2 meg, so you can upload it for YouTube. It comes back with this ginormous file size. I'm like, dude, it's like 4,000 pixels by 4,000 by 3,000, and it's like 7 meg. What part of 1280 by 720 and at under 2 meg didn't you hear? And they're like, oh, really sorry, I'll do that again. And then they do it and they put text in it. And the text is like English words, but they're not real words. They're just AI. We're on this edge of AI right now, like the precipice of it. And for certain things, it's rad, like generating YouTube tags and generating hashtags on Instagram. Seems to be doing that pretty damn well for me. Anything else like thumbnails, it's like... I asked it to do a thumbnail for my Uluru vlogs. I said, generate a thumbnail for a YouTube stream where we watch back all the Uluru vlogs. And I said, use this image as the base. And I gave it a photograph of Uluru. It came back with this random dude going, I'm like, who the hell's that? Like, why would you put a random stranger on my thumbnail for my video? I almost uploaded it too. I was like, maybe I'll just use this. And someone would be like, who's that guy? It's like this video. Who the hell's the narrator? It just pops up from nowhere.
For the building.
The panel had reason to be nervous. Frank Gehry had built a reputation for innovative, eye-catching designs, but his latest venture, the Walt Disney Concert Hall, was making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Commissioned in 1987, by 1991 the project was entering a long hiatus as engineers struggled to work out how to build it, and funding and planning issues stopped any significant progress. With an even more audacious design for the Guggenheim Bilbao, serious questions were being asked about whether it was even possible.
There was a lot of skepticism, and there was a lot of criticism also even from the architectural word saying, well, this building cannot be built or cannot be built on time, cannot be built on budget.
But this project would be different. To pull off his most daring design yet, Gary had an ace up his sleeve. But before he could use it, his team first had to transform his early sketches into something more tangible, starting with his trademark process of model building. Now, using those initial sketches as a foundation, Gary's design team began experimenting with models made from paper and card, developing the building's distinctive form through physical manipulation.
There's initial conceptual sketches. They're descriptive gestures of what the building is trying to capture, to then physical models that are initially just, like small, almost like children's building blocks.
From these, the team would develop hundreds of models, increasing in complexity as they balanced creative flair with the practical requirements of the building.
You were working with the form both from a expressive gesture, but then also dealing with some of the work that was happening.
Just out of curiosity here, are these buildings meant to be lived in? What are they for? What's the point of these buildings?
Happening with the consultants and what their requirements were, how you were meeting floor area requirements, or did you have enough room for the bathrooms that were needed in that area?
Now, designing something this complicated with pieces of card is one thing, but building it is a heck of a lot more difficult. And to explain why, I'm going to need some crisps. For thousands of years, architecture and engineering has run on a set of rules. Buildings were based around flat shapes or planes like squares, rectangles, and triangles. Within those, certain things will always be true. Two parallel lines will never meet. A straight line can always be drawn between 2 points, and right angles are always 90 degrees. That's what's known as Euclidean geometry. It's named after a guy called Euclid who first wrote about it. You can see this in everything, from the pyramids to skyscrapers like the Empire State Building. But the Guggenheim Bilbao isn't based on flat surfaces. Just take a look at this wall here. Look how it curves out, then back in on itself, then twists around the higher it goes. If we draw a line from here to here, rather than being straight, it ends up looking like this. And if we drew a triangle on it, the angles wouldn't add up to 180 degrees. Shapes like this fall into a category known as non-Euclidean geometry. So Euclidean, non-Euclidean, why does any of that matter? Well, this right here is a crisp, or to our American viewers, it's a chip. Now, this is actually a really good example of Euclidean geometry because it's round, flat, square, no surprises. Now, if you were an engineer and I asked you to build this for me, it would be pretty straightforward. I could draw it from this angle and from this angle, and you'd have a pretty good idea about what I was after. Now imagine I've asked you to build me a Pringle, which would be a pretty strange request. But basically I could show you it like this, and it would look flat. But turn it this way, and you realise it's curved not just in one direction, but in two. I can't accurately draw this in 2 dimensions because it doesn't follow any of the rules that allow me to do that. I could give you the gist of it, but that's not really good enough. Engineers need precise measurements to be able to carry out their work. To really show you how to build this, I would need an advanced piece of software.
I see nothing of it looking like a clit. Wait. You're missing a few letters there. Chip. He said a chip, not a clit. Calm down.
CATIA is a 3D modelling software first developed to help design the French Mirage. But in the early 1990s, it was making a name for itself in the design of the new Boeing 777, touted as the world's first paperless aeroplane. Computer design packages were beginning to make inroads into architect studios, but what CATIA offered was revolutionary. Because it was based on mathematical equations rather than polygons, it allowed the team to model complex 3D shapes and from that model provide accurate cross-sections and plans to engineers.
So at the time, the prevalent way of working was CAD, AutoCAD, Graphisoft. You could do limited stuff in 3D, but it was predominantly a replacement for 2D pin bar manual drafting, right?
The complex geometries being developed by Gary's design team were still novel in the world of architecture, but this was all basic stuff for aero.
No, just the name of the shape, non-Euclidean. Oh, was it the way that they said that there was a phrase that they used to describe geometry that's kind of random? Was it non-Euclidean? Is that what it was? I didn't listen to it that clearly, but see what you've got on your mind, Just Rev. Shit.
Aerospace software, which could not only model the complex geometries, but also split them up into components which had precise detail.
Hey, Just Rev, are you? I know you're chatting on DLive. Are you streaming on DLive still? Is it? Like, I know I'm there as well right now, and that's why you're chatting there. But I'm just wondering, are you still putting in a good showing over on DLive? I've lost a lot of steam, I guess, for DLive, a lot of love for DLive over the last few years, but I just wonder if there are, I don't know, like when Tidy left, I felt like that was the end of it for me. Is it still a good home? Like, does it still feel like a home? Like, I stream here on DLive and on Pilled. Oh, the red Pilled. Yeah. So you can multi-stream to Pilled? Okay, cool. Yeah, there was a, I don't know, like I'll just pause for a second, but the vibe, like, and I know I was banished, and it was banished from the discussions in the Discord. So I kind of, at that point, I was still active on the site, but I wasn't allowed to partake in the community, let's say. But then I noticed that people were starting to leave. Quite often, like quite big names were leaving. And when Tidy left, that to me was like, wow, okay, he's leaving? So that's kind of like that is the head of the community, the head of English community on DLive, and he's like, I'm done, I'm out. I was like, wow, I wonder why, and I wonder what happens now. OBS has the add-on. I used the OBS add-on. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. I used beamstream.gg to do all that multi-streaming and to pull this chat together as well. Pretty handy, pretty cool. You were suspended for 1.5 years? You got a suspension on DLive. Yo, here's some cheap viewers on Steam, bro. Remove the space. Thank you so much for that comment on Twitter, on Twitch. Love it, Wax L3. Got to start putting a block on those words. I didn't even know. I did not know you got a bannage on DLive. What did you do to deserve that? I thought I was the only streamer copping bans left, right, and center on DLive. Actually, to be frank, or to be fair, I never actually got a ban on DLive. I only got a ban from the Discord. I never got a ban from the actual site, but I definitely got banned on the Discord. And I always thought that was a bit odd because that's literally one of the perks of being a verified partner. You get access to a separate Discord where partners can chat. And they yanked that from me, but they didn't take my partnership away. So I was still partnered up, but I didn't have the benefit of what the partnership would give you. So I was like, am I the only partner that can't access this partner perk? They even made free Rev Gym stickers. Did they now? Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Funny times though. Fun days over on DLive. But just, sorry, to finish this up or to wrap this conversation up quickly, does there still feel like it's a home for you? Does it still have that good, because there was a good vibe there for a number of years, a good community vibe and a good feeling when you would stream there. Does it have that, or is it just like individual pockets of streamers doing their thing? Because that's the same as Kick and like, you know, Beamstream. It's just individual pockets of streamers kind of going about their own thing. Kind of like YouTube, you know, like YouTube's many individual pockets doing their own thing. But what I really loved about DLive was that it was a smaller field and you all knew each other. Like I remember, you know, Crazy K-Man and Cincy and I Sponge a lot and all the good crew and back in the day. And then it just, man, I don't want to get too down about it, but it's pretty lame. What happened is pretty lame.
Was about them.
The idea that there was maybe an overall shape.
There are still a lot of good people on here, but we have lost a lot of good people too. Too many have died. Yeah, okay. Every now and then when I see you come in, I just want to inquire and I want to just ask those questions. Thank you for thank you for asking. Thank you for answering, man. Appreciate it.
Airplane or car, and then pieces would be fit into that, and then those pieces would be distributed from manufacturing. The whole thing would come together virtually. You would test the plane, and then you'd build it, and it would work, right?
But the first time Gary used the software, it was to design something more used to swimming than flying.
Well, yes, that was pretty innovative at the time, and we already had some.
DLive was the first place I ever streamed, and it's still home to me. I mean, that's very similar to me, dude. I mean, I did tap into YouTube's first, but in terms of a specific streaming website, DLive was my first as well. There might have been a very brief period when I did YouNow and DTube. Do you remember DTube? Decentralized YouTube. Yeah. Rico Man's lurking. How you doing, Rico Man?
Successes using the CATIA technology through like our Barcelona project, which was built in 1992.
Gary had been commissioned to design a sculpture for the 1992 Barcelona Olympics. What he designed was this, the Pesh, or fish. Now, granted, it doesn't look super complicated, but just like the Pringle, it's based on a series of huge curves that are almost impossible to describe on paper. So for a solution,
that was
turned to CATIA.
We were doing it through traditional drawings.
Yo, Just Rev, gifting subs to the channel. Thank you, man. Thank you. That's an old alert. Gifting subs to the DLive channel. Thank you, man. Oh, you need to be subbed now to watch. Oh, you know what? Sorry, dude. I got to just pause again. I got to pause again. You know what kills me, man? When DLive killed recently, they killed all the clips. All those years of clipping. I had like pages and pages, like go down the bottom and keep scrolling. Had all these rad clips from all of my streams. And yeah, I was slowly going through and like downloading them. Pretty sketchy downloading. Had to use JDownloader 2 and blah, blah, blah. But then I went in there one time. I'd stopped downloading for a little while. I was busy with other things. And then I went back in and I went to download and I was like, all my clips are gone. All of the clips are gone. Oh, what? Rico, man. Yo, Gibbs, good to see you still alive and kicking. Thank you, man. Others lost a lot of clips. I mean, now, okay, I'll say this. I'll just go on record and state that if I was in the Discord, I might have got the announcement that they were going to be removing clips on day number whatever, day X, and I could have gone in beforehand and downloaded all of them. But because they removed that feature for me, I had no idea that clips were on their way out. All I did was go to my channel one time to download some clips and they were all gone. And they're all like, they're not coming back. They're done, right? All those years of viewers clipping and then us reacting to the clips and watching them and enjoying that, all that's gone. It's gone. It's just off the site. It's like, wow, man, that's depressing. Like, now, did they give a reason for that? Did they say why they're taking clips away? Like, what happened? Like, I thought we were supposed to be. I'm not part of it. I thought DLive was meant to be integrated into the BitTorrent file system, and therefore all of your streams and therefore all of your VODs and all of your clips would be part of BitTorrent and therefore searchable through BitTorrent trackers. That never happened. Did anybody speak on that? Did anybody say, by the way, this is why we're removing clips? And by the way, I Just Rev, I don't even know if you know this stuff. Like, I'm just assuming that you. I don't know why I'm assuming. I could be completely wrong here, but I'm just assuming that you have some kind of inside to the site. Just Rev, I don't recall them telling us. I think we were told after the fact, but they were supposed to be back. Oh, really? They were supposed to bring them back. Yo, Comtech, how you doing, man? Gives, in order to use the Ninja browser plugin, you need to open a chat window for each platform. Then you can use the Ninja link in a browser tab to see all the chats. Yes, Comtech, I'm 100% aware of how that works. And we, for many, many months, were using it. And we would, because of all those browser windows opened, I'm assuming that's what it is. On my system with multiple monitors and on a Mac, I think that amount of windows open, I don't know. I'm just assuming that amount of windows open, just didn't like it. We tried the standalone version. We tried the plugin. And we encountered buggy encode overloads. Yesterday, I removed it from the setup, and we don't have any encode overloads at all. As far as I'm aware, the chat is looking mighty fine from Beamstream, the uni chat from Beamstream. It looks perfect to me. It looks rad. I just upped the contrast a bit, and it looks punchy. Opacity behind it, like the opacity behind my hand. The text. If anything, the font could be a little larger, but that's just my old eyes. Can I wonder if I can make it larger? Can I make the whole thing larger? Don't know if I can. I won't faff around with it, but I'm happy with using Beamstream. You don't have, when you go live, you don't have to open up any windows. You don't have to open up Social Stream. You don't even have to open up Beam. It just populates, pulls them all together. Pretty rad. But thank you, Comtech. Thank you for letting me know. Now, did you see my stream yesterday where we talked about the midnight or the glacier drop with midnight? Unbeknownst to me, you can't claim from the Exodus wallet where all of my most of my portfolios in the Exodus wallet, and I was hoping to use the Bitcoin and my Ethereum and then in the Eternal Cardano wallet, and the snapshot happened before I had $100 worth of the snapshot happened before I moved my Cardano from Exodus to Eternal. So all of my assets were in Exodus, and Exodus isn't part of the airdrop. So I was like, damn it. They do have clips again, but it's not the same as before. No shit. So you can still clip, but it's starting afresh. Man, that's a big ask to get people to start clipping again after they just deleted the entire archive. That's like saying, yeah, just start over again. Don't worry about it. That's a huge requirement. Is anybody clipping? Is anybody making clips? That's a shame, man. I had so many good clips in there. Like I Just Farted Girl, all the other, what were the other ones we had? I mean, too many, right? We had clips from back in the day when like Justin Sun coming in on the stream, Charles Wayne, not Justin Sun, Charles Wayne coming in on the stream. Oh, they're all gone, man. That's a crying shame. I mean, I've obviously got all of my VODs. I downloaded all of my VODs from pretty much get-go. Some of the ones at the very beginning I didn't get. Duncan downloaded them for me, some sketchy downloads with camera pointing at the screen kind of stuff, but at least I have them. But those early, like those real early ones with when Lino was still a thing, got all those. Interesting. Let's continue on.
It just wasn't working out, and we found some support outside the office that had aerospace and aeronautic background.
This strange new software had proved its worth and was seen as the key to unlocking the daring design of the Guggenheim. Now, for any Gen Zs out there thinking, well, so what? It's worth remembering just how basic digital tech was back then. At this point in the early 90s, most people had never used the internet. Mini discs were the latest way to listen to music, and cutting-edge computer game graphics looked like this.
And this sounds crazy, but the ability to do real-time rotation of shaded models, you really didn't see it anywhere before. I mean, you would work in wireframe, and then there would be this process where you'd render, and you'd see over the course of a half hour that image taking place, and just to see somebody being able to like look at a complex shape from all its sides and understand it was, it's not just about the real time, it's interactive, right? So the interaction with real-time geometry for me was revolutionary.
Now, as groundbreaking as this technology was in the 90s, don't think the innovation stopped there, because CATIA has come a very long way since the days of Guggenheim. Take a look at this, for example. It's called the Henderson in Hong Kong, and as you can see, it's absolutely epic. It was also built using CATIA on the 3D Experience platform and really pushed the limits of design and fabrication. The entire skyscraper is covered in more than 4,000 individually shaped panels. 3D Experience models each one and even simulates how they'll be manufactured. Now, when I was first starting out in the industry, I honestly would have thought that something like this would have been impossible because everything is so complex and interconnected. You change one thing and everything else gets affected and has to change with it.
Just Rev, to get to the new clips, you hit your icon upper right, then go to profile page. Okay. I'm probably not going to bother looking into it, but thank you.
But 3D Experience is a real game changer because it updates everything. You make a change to the facade and it updates not just that, but also the structural layout, the internal floor plates, all of it in real time. And perhaps most importantly, every piece of information is managed on the same platform. Trust me, on a project this big and this complicated, with so many people involved, miscommunication happens a lot. So having one model, one kind of like common source of truth that architects, engineers, manufacturers can all refer to is a real lifesaver. You can find out more about how CATIA can help take your project to the next level at the link down there in the video description. It massively helps us out when you guys go and check out our video sponsors and enables us to keep making great content for you. So if it's relevant, please do go and check out CATIA at the link below. With that, it's time to head back to the 1990s. In 1993, just 2 years after winning the competition, construction began. And this is where things got really tricky. CATIA played a critical role, but it didn't have all the answers. It was able to accurately describe what had to be built, but then it was over to the engineers to work out how to actually construct it.
What is CATIA for us? A group of surfaces and volumes. And this is perfectly designed, but nothing at all defined in one sentence. Not ready to build.
While CATIA was great at defining the overall shape of the museum, a lot of work still had to go into how it would be manufactured.
You have a cut, you have a line of perfectly designed the shape of different areas. That shape is titanium, is stone, gypsum board, is glass. But in order to place these materials on
no
the
worries,
structure,
Comtech.
you
Cheers,
have
man.
to develop the engineering, and you have to manufacture this structure, these tubes or steel profiles in arcs of circumferences in order to construct this, and then to put the surface, to put the cladding on the titanium and gypsum or stone or whatever.
The job of developing the structural design went to SOM in Chicago, who took Gary's plans and developed an intricate steel mesh. That would provide a strong frame that could accommodate the building's expressive curves, but crucially also create a large, open interior free of columns. The primary structure was so complex and interlinked that large parts were unable to freestand and were held in place by cranes until it was complete. The design was so intricate.
Did you figure out the Ninja Social plugin? So I was just saying, we've opted out of using it just for the chat. I'll still use it for call-ins. So that's Video Ninja, but Social Stream by the same guy. I'm not using it for the chat. The chat you see on screen right now is Beamstream's chat, the Uni chat. And it seems to be doing pretty much everything I need without a hiccup. So I'm probably going to stick with it or keep using it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it's looking, actually. Yeah. And the only reason I say that is because, or the reason we're not using it is because we did have, it seemed like it was pretty clunky for my system. I don't think my system liked it. Now I do run multiple monitors, and I'm maxing out the M1 Max here, and I'm really pumping a lot in and a lot out, a lot of I/O, a lot of moving particles and things and stuff. But yeah, it's a shame because I liked that chat, but there were other things about it I didn't like. Like I didn't like having to load it before you stream and then go and activate sources and then make sure the windows were all open and then blah, 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 blah. With Beamstream, you don't even have to open up Beamstream. You just start a stream and it just pulls them all in. Of course, you do get party chats coming in from Gaming Horse with a link there. Gaming Horse, can you stop doing that, dude? You always come into my chat and say welcome to party. I've been on party for like over a year, dude, and now you're not going to respond because you're just a troll. Yeah, thank you for that welcome. I've been here long enough to not be welcomed every time you come into my chat and then don't say anything.
Entire 3,000-ton structure were the same, but also none of them were curved. To achieve the facade effect of a single or sometimes double curve, more steel structures were built on top. A secondary frame of curved horizontal beams provided shape along one axis, and a third tertiary structure composed of curved vertical beams provided the definition for the other.
You just got a tablet recently, Just Rev? Up until then, you've done all your streaming with just one screen. I did that for a while. The tablet, man, I don't know if you're on a Mac or a PC, but if you can like extend your display with that makes all the difference. Having another display that you can separate and bring into OBS, awesome.
Is the wall we looked at earlier. Look at how the different structures create arcs and curves that a curved surface can be placed on.
They are curves. They are arcs of circumferences in general, depending on the area or depending on the zone. Okay, they could be straight as well, but in general, because of the shape, the museum, they don't have almost no.
You're on PC,
lines.
okay.
They are all curves.
I think PC, for multiple monitors and mirroring and extending displays and then arranging, I think PC is pretty good, right? I don't have any issues. I don't know of any issues that have come up between PCs and Macs that one's better than the other. Back in the day when I started streaming, the PC was definitely better to stream for OBS. OBS on a Mac was horrible for many, many years. It's caught up now, and they're both pretty equal. Yet you do need to have a few. You do need some. I'm going to say music. You need some audio routing. You need loopback at a minimum. You might also benefit from the other one, audio hijack. But loopback you definitely need loopback. But
in one length or in two lengths, depending on the area. But all the profiles, the beams, they are all the primary structure. They were straight. The massive structure was straight, but the secondary and tertiary, they were curves, arcs of circumference.
It looks like a roller coaster setup. Right on, Charles. It does. It looks horrible. I don't like the look of this at all. I got a gaming laptop. I wasn't gaming at the time, but I knew streaming was a resource drain, such as game. Yeah. If you're going to start, you might invest in a gaming platform, a laptop for sure, because they're very GPU intensive. Yeah, for sure. Good idea. Don't buy a Mac for that. Mac's definitely not known for gaming.
Once the structure was complete, work moved on to enclose it. Stainless steel panels were installed to enclose the structure, followed by a waterproof membrane. The Guggenheim Bilbao isn't just about wavy curves. What really strikes you is the warmth with which it reflects the light in a soft, pillowy texture. Bilbao is a city that's often cloudy, and yet the museum still reflects this with its unique sense of warmth and sympathy. But the story of how it took on that character is a series
warmth
of
and
chance
sympathy.
events, beginning 3,500 kilometers away.
I must break you.
This is a Soviet Alpha-class submarine. Developed in the 1960s, it was one of the fastest military submarines ever built, thanks to its innovative engine and the revolutionary use of titanium for its hull. But there was a problem. They were also incredibly expensive to operate.
I must break you.
In 1990, as the USSR began to disintegrate, and in an effort to save money, the Soviet Navy began decommissioning the Alphas. This was actually the first of two chance events that decided the outcome of the Guggenheim.
Brisbane?
The other came sometime later, on an uncharacteristically overcast day in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Gary's team had been struggling to choose a material to clad the...
That's a very small... Is that the city skyline of LA for today? I feel like it's bigger than that. That's a tiny skyline. Polar bears have black skin under their white fur. Is that a fact, dude? Interesting.
The other came sometime later, on an uncharacteristically overcast day in Los Angeles. Gary's team had been struggling to choose a material to clad the building in. He'd previously used a lead-copper alloy, but this had fallen out of favour because of its environmental impact. Gary was unhappy with early tests using stainless steel, which didn't capture the city's distinctive light in an attractive way. On that fateful, cloudy day in LA, Gary's eye was caught by a piece of titanium cladding on the exterior of his studio. He was impressed with how it reflected the grey sky, which perfectly matched the typical weather in Bilbao. But there was a hitch. Titanium...
Hey, Dale's in the house. How you doing, Dale? Wait. Polar bears are actually reverse Oreos? Good to see you, man.
Expensive.
Good to have you.
It was more commonly used for making components for aeroplanes than for cladding buildings.
I must break you.
But as the Alpha-class submarines are broken down, the titanium from their hulls entered the global market, driving the price
Good morning.
down and giving Gary an opportunity to give the museum its distinctive finish.
I've got to put a sweater or a jumper on.
Very thin 24 gauge metal. Thinness of the panel gives it a
Still
little
winter
bit
here.
of, we call it oil canning, where it kind of puffs a little bit, which gives it its unique kind of textural quality when you look at the pictures and how it captures the light. There's a goldenness to it that's different from stainless steel. It's like a yellow glow to the metal.
That's a hideous.
33,000
hideous.
panels were rolled to a thickness of just 0.38 millimeters, with each one measuring
Absolutely hideous building. What? Just disgusting, right?
just 80 by 115 centimeters. They were perfectly suited to define the final shape of the building.
It was a happy accident that we chose to have a very small panel.
Yeah, Dale, that's something I was hoping H-Man would be in here because there was, way back in the beginning of this video, they had a napkin where someone had sketched the design of this and then they built it. And I was like, they built this building based upon this awful sketch on a napkin. Looks like it was made from leftovers. Yes, it does. It does indeed.
Actually could bend easily over the shapes that we had, which were very gentle curves. When you take the largeness of the building, it looks like a lot of curves, but when you get down to it.
Also, while we're here, why are they called buildings after they've been built? Building is the adjective. Technically, it's only a building while it's being built. Once it's finished, it should be called a built. I live in a built. By the way, clip this. I'll repeat. I'll make this full and I'll repeat myself. Why are they called buildings once they've been built? Building is an adjective. The term should be, it's a built. I live in a built. I don't live in a building. They've already finished it. I live in a built. Damn, Benon, you really must stop making sense. You know what I'm saying? It's an obvious one, that one. It's not a building. They're working on it. It's a building. Once it's been built, it's a built. It's kind of like driveways and parkways. Parkway drives. Parkways and driveways. Driveways. I think I've heard this. You park on a driveway and you drive on a parkway. Yeah. What's with that? It's backwards. You park your car on a driveway and yet you drive your car on a parkway. Right, yeah. Yeah, that's also dumb. This whole world sucks. Let's end it all now.
You can take a postage stamp, lay it over a basketball, for instance. If you get a small enough stamp, you can cover the whole basketball with stamps.
While the panels may have been small enough to cover the bold, swooping curves of the facade, physically getting them into place was a whole other challenge. The solution came not from the pages of a construction handbook, but from the mountain.
Oh, you made a clip on DLive? Nah, do that on Kick, man. You make clips on DLive and then the next day you wake up and they take them away from you. I'm not going look, I appreciate you doing that, Dale. I'm not going to go down that avenue of clipping and looking on clips on DLive. Not after they just took them all away. Hell no, dude. Hell no. But thank you.
That surrounded the city. Rock climbers.
Not only the height, there are areas that with cranes, platform, scissors, you don't reach. The people must climb and then to go down the hardest step. Now, when they have to clean the facade, they have to use escalators. They have to the climbers. You have to use climbers.
As this extraordinary building rose along the banks of the NIRVAN, so too did the city's admiration, transforming skepticism into awe in the heart of this old steel town.
I will say the first year, everybody was shocked. This is a stupid thing, this is absurd. But the point is that little by little, the building, the construction, the structure was connected with people. Little by little, people were falling in love with the project and began to believe.
Now I'm going to wait and clip some boring shit on Kick just to annoy you. Dude, I'll one-up you. I'll do it again. Why are they called buildings once they've been built? The word building is an adjective. They should only be called buildings whilst they're being built. When they're working on it, oh, look at that building. They're doing a good job over there. Once it's finished, you move into it, you live in a built. No longer a building. The construction has completed, you live in a built. This world is crazy for that. Is that good for you? Clip that shit. Go on, clip that shiz. Get it out of there. Get that clip and shove it right in your what? Huh? Who? Where? When? How? Who? How many?
October 1997, 4 years after construction began, the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao opened. And as the eyes of the world fixed their gaze on this extraordinary structure, signs began to emerge that the gamble had paid off.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you, man. Gibbs, do you live in a flat or a built? Live in a house? A flat is an interesting one, though. Flat's an interesting one, Comtech, because when you think about it, you live in a flat, but they're not flat. They're tall, right? A flat is not flat. They're tall. And to that effect, why are they called apartments when they're all joined together? They're not apart. They're actually closer than a house is to another. Like houses are apart, yet apartments are all jammed together and they're called apartments. They're not apart from anything. Sometimes I think this world, certainly the English language, is just, they're messing with you, right? They're doing it for fun, right? They're messing with you when you're young so that then you, like if you question something, you can't question it, right? You're not allowed to question it. You just got to believe it. But what you've just taught me is the opposite of what you're saying. I struggled with this in early mathematics at school when the teacher got out the orange and said, hey, Gibbs, didn't call me Gibbs, but you know what I'm saying. Here's an orange. How many have you got? I've got one. And here's another one. How many have you got? I've got 2 oranges. Okay. 1 and 1, 2. Great. Then they say, now Gibbs, how about those 2 oranges? Let's multiply them by this person who has no oranges. Bling! The oranges disappear. I was like, no. I'm still holding the 2 oranges that you gave me. Now, just because you're multiplying them by Joey Jojo, who has none, doesn't get rid of mine. It does not. You somehow disappearing my oranges? That's not maths. That's magic. So that's when I was like, yeah, this school thing's not really working for me. And I was told to sit down and shut up. Kick clips are 30 seconds too short. Yeah, you can clip on YouTube. You know you can clip on YouTube? Yeah, you can.
I remember when the museum opened that it was headline news at the CNN news program, which at that time was the only global news source. And that was a bit of a surprise for us because we thought, how is this happening? That an opening of a museum in a small city in north of Spain is becoming headline news at CNN.
Yeah, sometimes something times nothing should still be something. For sure, man. Imagine you did that with a house. Like I bought myself a house and I'm going to multiply it by my cousin who hasn't got a house. Now you both don't have houses. The fuck? What are you talking about? You took my house away because I multiplied it by his none? Nah, that ain't going to work for me. Interesting tune.
The building instantly captured the imagination of everyone, from locals to international spies. The museum had planned for around 400,000 visitors, but in its first full year of operation, it welcomed over 1.3 million.
In our initial plans, we thought we would need 8-10 years of...
Is this what Jordan Peterson did before he went on the circuit? Look at it. It looks like Jordan Peterson.
Good operation to really
wait.
capture...
Nah, it's not him. He's not crying.
The interest and imagination of the words, but the fact that it was new since the very beginning, it meant that...
Comtech, we got an art building that's in that style. It's very weird. Yeah, okay. Yeah, strange.
Already in the imagination, not just the people living close to us, but far away.
Innovative, transgressive, and creative.
Transgressive. Hey Siri, what does transgressive mean? Siri's not responding? Hey Siri, what does transgressive mean? Ever since I updated my phone, Apple Intelligence and aka Siri, watch this. Turn the brightness down so you can see it. Watch this.
Okay.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Okay, it's off. Hey Siri, what does transgressive mean?
Transgressive means involving a violation of moral or social boundaries. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
No. I'm holding my phone and yet my HomePod's responded. My phone is moving, was in my hand, and the last thing I did was touch the phone to lower the brightness, and I asked it so close to my phone, and yet the HomePod's responded. And I've got HomePods in my bathroom. Often they respond for no reason. It's like, what on earth are you doing, Apple? Like, that is the dumbest smart feature ever. You should be able to recognize when the movement of the phone with the accelerometer, that the phone, possibly the thing in my hand, is the thing I want to answer. Like, just so dumb. Apple really, really, really dropped the ball with Siri badly.
Came all the way over here from Vancouver, Canada, just to see the museum.
For me, the museum is beautiful, aspirational, and inspiring.
As the museum thrived, so too did Bilbao. The plan to reinvent the city was bearing fruit. The metro had opened 2 years before, and the Campo Volantino footbridge followed suit shortly after, improving pedestrian access along the river on which the museum sits. In 2000, the new airport terminal opened, giving a further boost to visitors from around the world, and transforming Bilbao from a downcast regional city to a thriving global destination. Bilbao is once again a major, prosperous city.
Rad.
Its streets are teeming with locals and visitors enjoying everything this place has to offer.
Last year, for example, it's estimated...
Whoa. What's going on in the chat? Dale, been dealing with a lot here, kind of rough. What's going on, Dale? Did I put a jinx on your relationship? Is that what you did? Oh, well, I'm just assuming. I don't know why, but something going on, dude? You want to share?
800 million euros of additional economic activity because of the operation of the museum.
What I feel when I go back to Bilbao and I see a great success, when I see the change of the city, when I see the 1 million people going to visit Guggenheim, the vitality, the lively restaurants, people, tourists, the change has been huge.
The Guggenheim was such a wild success that it kick-started a wave of museum construction around the world. In 2000,
I don't know about that. This is a video about buildings, and that angle of that plane, I don't know, that just reminds me of 9/11, right?
It kick-started a wave of museum construction.
That angle, man, that's not a cool clip to put in. It just looks like something sketchy's going on.
Around the world. In 2000, the Tate Modern opened, revitalising London's decrepit South Bank. And in 2010, a new Pompidou Centre transformed the French city of Metz. But the list really is endless. In fact, the chances are there's probably somewhere near you which has tried to follow the template of using a major art or cultural centre to transform the fortunes of a town or city. Its impacts even shaped the construction industry, kicking off a revolution in design and technology that still defines it today.
The role of technology and information was the kind of the silver bullet that allowed these very ambitious designers to do unprecedented, buildings, and to have the confidence that they could take that authority and that risk.
Gary's outlandish design didn't just pioneer the use of digital software in architecture, it fundamentally changed the relationship between the architect and the engineer.
Architects are supposed to not get involved in affecting how things are built. They're just supposed to say, when they're built, this is what they look like. But these new geometries, these new methodologies, that line between what is intent and what is the means of delivering it starts eroding.
The complexity of the design puts a much heavier emphasis on the role of the architect's model. In a more traditional workflow, an architect develops a series of plans, an engineer then takes those and creates their own set of drawings, and then finally it all gets passed on down to the contractors and so on. But the complexity of these non-Euclidean designs places more emphasis
There it is, the non-Euclidean.
on the importance of the architect's model, which in turn adds more responsibility to the architects to make sure that coordination between all the different disciplines.
Sorry, just to cut in again on this guy, the way that he's come in is very sporadically or very seldom on this video tells me that he's the narrator, but he's using a voice disguiser to narrate. And then when he comes in on scene, he doesn't use the voice disguiser. It's kind of strange.
As effectively and clearly as possible.
So the idea that the architect's model would become the basis that everybody does their work off of was revolutionary and also, frankly, risky. Because you can imagine a curved shape like Bilbao. If I say, well, the surface is here.
What's the cathedral in Barcelona? You mean the like the horror, the Gothic one? I've been there. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. It's pretty interesting. Oh no! I know what you mean. The big cathedral down by the water. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking about the other one up in that little. There's that really narrow streets part of town, really like thin walled streets.
And your structure is going to be here. You know, I mean, you're setting off a chain of decisions that if there's an issue, everybody can just point back to that original shape and say, well, that must have been the source of the problem.
It may have been risky, but for Gary, it worked. Along with his highly collaborative approach, this greater level of involvement is what helped this extraordinary building complete on time and on budget. In 2002, Gary Technologies was established, a service firm which was hugely influential in the widespread adoption of 3D modelling and BIM software throughout the architectural profession. It would go on to enable countless iconic buildings like the Bird's Nest Stadium in Beijing and the Louvre Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
For Gary's practice, meanwhile, his reputation as an architectural heavyweight was confirmed, and it provided an opportunity to correct the record of a building that had once threatened to
See the giant
tarnish
spider.
his
That's interesting, huh?
legacy.
Yeah.
The Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles was in that moment had been
But we still don't know what this building was for. It's just an art building? Is it just like it's like an exhibition space? Hendrik will definitely watch this replay. I mean, this might even be his video. He might have linked this for us.
For 10 years, I don't know. And they were unable to push the project. No? And I remember that Gary sent to Bilbao one of the contractor or the main contractor of the Walt Disney Concert Hall.
Or I'll smack him around.
To see what
smack him upside the head.
What we were doing in order to be able to construct, in order to be able to keep to the budget.
After Bilbao, when Disney got resurrected, Frank said, we will only do this if we are the architect of record, and we will only do this if this process is adopted.
The Walt Disney Concert Hall opened in 2003, 16 years after it was commissioned. It was widely hailed as a masterpiece and remains an iconic landmark in Los Angeles.
Just Rev, the goal is to take beautiful art and a building and make it ugly. Kind of, hey. Yeah, kind of. That's what it looks like.
Back in Bilbao, the Guggenheim still stands as an iconic destination in the city. It's a timeless structure that still amazes visitors to this day.
Bill, Bilbao, Bill. Frank Gehry, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Behold, the new Springfield Concert Hall.
Telling a story like this really is like reading out a list of things that we today take for granted. The idea that a museum could be an international tourist attraction.
There it is.
The technology, the 3D design. All those innovations, like ripples in a pond, have to start somewhere. And in this case, that single point is the Guggenheim Bilbao.
Go to any art showing and they're praising crap as good art. Right. And it's like, yeah, that's just the light switch, dude. But you thought that was part of the art installation? That's kind of the level we got here. They're all standing around and they're like, oh, look how straight those lines are. Dude, it's the light switch. That's all that is. It's not part of it. Calm down. I'll tell you what is part of this today. I want to eat probably the rest of this biltong. I want to go and get myself a homebrew beer. And we come back in and we'll continue watching some content. I'll give you a surfing clip though. This clip is from today. I went surfing and it should have audio this time. I'll be right back with a beer and then we can exclamation pour and we'll drink together. Hell yeah. Pretty nice out there today. I enjoyed that surf, but I'm going to enjoy this beer even more. If you can exclamation pour in the chat while you do that, I will cut some biltong. Oh, it's dripping everywhere or dropping everywhere. Coriander. UK should take his feces and sling it onto canvas. Who's UK? Yeah. Thank you. I'll add to that. Ah, cheers. This beer is really good too. It's a big, fat, thick black stout that I made. And it looks as good as it tastes. Delish. So good. Now, cut some biltong. Get that out of the way. I might cut a few of them here. I've been told that you shouldn't keep this too much longer. Like I should be probably eating all of this in this sitting. And I'm happy to do that. Oh, useless crayon eater. Right. I didn't know the nicknames. So here it is, all portioned out. Look at that. This is a South African delicacy. Biltong. Tastes like beef jerky, but so much nicer. Oh, really good. I'm not going to have any problem finishing this today, I can tell you now. Let's move on. What are we going to move on to? Oh, here's a little Dalika video. Weekend camping in the Namibian bush. Okay. What is the why is the resolution so bunk? I've been wanting to try this, Just Rev. I've got a connection to South Africa now, and this is direct from South Africans, made in Australia though.
So, alle Kameras an, alles funktioniert.
It's German?
Papa, und jetzt fahren in den Busch.
German. Air-aged dried meat, yes. Nice Dalika. Whoa. Biltong and beer. That's pretty loud. The trailer's a good idea. Yeah. I don't reckon I need one. Okay, this is just a fun little video, I suppose. Zebras. Okay. That's a fun little video, not much to it. What do we got here? Let's continue on. Internet in shock as Scott Adams announces he's dying quickly from cancer. Be gone by the summer. That was an antelope? Okay.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. If we were one thing on this channel...
Every video is like set to sketchy resolution.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. If we were one thing on this channel, we are intellectually consistent. We will at least logic our way through a problem and come to a conclusion, show you all of the evidence, and hope that you join us in that conclusion. It creates a very clear worldview, a prism to see facts and stories through, and it helps us understand the world around us.
Okay.
It's the opposite of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you can hold two competing thoughts in your brain at the same time. They contradict each other, but you believe both. Like you believe all women if you're on the left, but you don't know what a woman is.
Scott Adams Dilbert cartoon. I'm not sure what that is referencing there, Daleskis. Want to be a bit clearer?
You want the first woman president, and you want the first black woman on the Supreme Court. But if I ask you what a woman is, you won't be able to say it. In fact, you'll shriek about it. That's cognitive dissonance. It's
He's
the signs
famous?
of a sociopath.
Is he?
Actually.
Okay.
It's somebody who can do that. And that's why the left is so often brain broken. And speaking of broken brains, Joe Biden's in the news as of late because he announced a terminal cancer diagnosis. Metastasis to his bones of prostate cancer. It's very bad. It's a Gleason score 9. It's a very, very aggressive form of prostate cancer.
Shit.
It's bad news for Joe Biden. Now, I don't like Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden's the worst president in my lifetime, maybe ever. We'll see how history shakes out. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But you can separate the human question from the political one.
Dilbert is a well-known comic here in the States. Dilbert, I feel like I know what that is. Dilbert comic. I feel like I know what this is. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I'm aware of what that is. I'm sorry. I'm aware it exists. Excuse me. This is your link, Dale? Okay. Political.
And I'm not God. You got to leave them up to God to judge, right? So God's going to sort it all out. But I can tell you, you're going to be judged on this earth for the impact you have on this earth. And Joe Biden's impact is horrendous. It's really hard to enumerate all of it, but you just off the top of the head, locking up innocent J6ers and the deaths at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan and bringing 25 million criminal aliens into this country who've raped, pillaged, and sacrificed Americans. It's monstrous. His legacy is monstrous. And that's not even getting into like more of the darker personal things about Joe Biden, like the kid sniffing and stuff like that. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about moral consistency. So being intellectually consistent means that you have to have a stance no matter who it is who's getting sick or getting harmed. On the show, we do no harm. On the show, we will never celebrate some horrible physical malady, terminal illness happening to somebody. It doesn't matter who they are. We just won't do it. If they're an American, if they're a fellow American, we won't do it.
I like this dude. He's rational.
We
Okay.
can separate that question from the diagnostics question, right? About the Joe Biden.
He's intelligent?
Yes. And the announcement, the
Okay.
very curious and convenient announcements of all of this in due time.
He's pretty good looking.
No.
But
Okay.
as we've said, and we will consistently say, we will never celebrate somebody getting cancer. It's horrible. I've seen my own family members wither and die away from cancer. And we got people in my family who have cancer right now. It's awful.
Are you feeling frightened?
No.
No.
So that's the major separate, and it allows for us to cover something
No.
that shocked us in our timeline just a few minutes ago when we saw that somebody who we've admired for a very long time, somebody whose humor and cartooning was legendary in my household growing up, and as someone who tunes in to Scott Adams on a regular basis, I was just completely shocked when he
looks like Ben Affleck's brother.
that he has the
Kinda,
exact same
yeah.
cancer as Joe Biden. It's also metastasized to his bones, and that Scott won't be around by the summer. Goodness. Here's what he said on his Mornings with Scott Adams, Coffee with Scott Adams show this morning.
Some of you have already guessed, so this won't surprise you at all. But I have the same cancer that Joe Biden has. So I also have prostate cancer that has also spread to my bones.
Shit.
But I've had it longer than he's had it. Well, longer than he's admitted having it. So my life expectancy is maybe the summer. I expect to be checking out from this domain sometime this summer.
Whoa.
Now,
Goodness gracious.
That's harsh.
The end of life is really something, man. How people can be so at peace with these kind of things. It's wild. Dilbert creator Scott Adams reveals prostate cancer diagnosis, predicts he only have months to live. Comic strip artist says his life expectancy may be this summer. Of course, he's a complete legend.
I don't want to take away from the severity of this, but I've got a BCC, which I've had a check on this. You see that there? That's just a scab. There's two of them there, but I got the results today. That needs to be cut out. So I've got a basal cell carcinoma right there. And there's also going to be a check on this one too. Where is it? My collarbone. No, here. Yeah. That there. Let's get naked here. Wait, get that out of the way. Can you see? I can't get much closer, but right on my collarbone, there's been something. It's like a scratch, but it's not a scratch. It's something. And I first noticed it when the guitar strap hangs across there. And I thought it was just like rubbing on the guitar strap, but I haven't played guitar like slung over my shoulder for quite a while, and it's still there. So I'm going to get that checked. But it reminds me I should do the prostate check, even though I got my blood results back today and everything's fine. Everything's fine. But I do want to get the prostate checked. This is frightening me.
Adams is 67. He's young. I mean, Joe Biden's in his 80s. Joe Biden's 83. The disease is
67, man. 67? 67, dude. That's young, right? That's the twilight of his life, and I'm not going to be around after summer. Fuck.
That I don't have good days. Adams continued. So if you're wondering, hey, Scott, do you have any good days? Nope. Nope. Every day is a nightmare. And evening is even worse. It's terrible to say. Terrible to see. Ugh. Scott's such a legend. I do have the ability to kind of get up for this part of the day, but I am in pain. I'm always in pain, and the pain moves around in different parts of the body. I've been using a walker to
This
walk
is depressing me.
now. Hundreds of newspapers pulled the Dilbert strip when Scott Adams practiced his freedom of speech and explained where he'd prefer to live. I'm not sure how this is relevant at this, in an article like this, but, well, I guess every journalist is entitled to frame things their own way. This is Scott's website. This is making news across the internet. Real coffee with Scott Adams live stream this morning. He said he expects only to live through the summer. Man.
Dowski happens to all of us at some point. Remember to live life to the fullest. Yeah. I agree. While we can. Just read my oldest brother died in July, less than 2 weeks from his birthday. Fuck, dude. Sorry to hear that, dude. Sorry to hear. Yeah, you just got just a gentle reminder to get out there and grab life by the gonads. Don't take no for an answer. Go for it. If something's in front of you, lap it up. Experience shit. Because it'll all be over. Before you know it. Fuck.
There are major outpourings of love for Scott Adams. My entire feed is nothing but love for Scott Adams. I don't pretend to know Scott, right? I've never met him. Our paths just haven't crossed. But I've been affected by his work, as has millions of people in America, whether it's the Dilbert comic strip or whether it's his chatting show. Here is just the freaking saddest thing ever is Gutfeld's take. Scott announced.
Dale, you just announced big hugs, Jimbo. I doubt my mum has much longer. So your problems are your mother is ill. Shit, man. Sorry to hear that, dude. Sorry to hear that. Mine either, Dale. It sucks. Yep. Yep.
The rare effect of pure selfishness. I'm immediately thinking, what will I do without this man? It's a testament to his immortal impact that I know that I am just one of the many thousands who share the same selfish thought. Pure selflessness. That's exactly right. Scott Adams. Same Democrats who pretend they don't notice Joe Biden's mental decline also didn't notice he based his campaign on the Very Fine People hoax. At least they are consistent. This is one of Scott's last tweets. Scott Adams, political commentary and persuasion observation over the last decade has been far more prescient than anything reported by CNN or Fox or your favorite pundit. Oh, and he draws funny cartoons too. An impressive man by every measure. Saddened to hear about Scott Adams, who's been diagnosed with aggressive form of cancer. When I started this account, I spent years watching his live streams and reading his books. He introduced me to the Saladian influence and knowledge that changed my life.
Without me doing it, can someone search up, because this is 2 months ago, this video, is Scott Adams still with us or is he passed?
Applied Scott's strategies ruthlessly and built this page to a multi-million-dollar business. I wouldn't be here where I am today without him. May God bless Scott Adams. So a lot of people coming out talking about the profound influence that Scott Adams had on their lives. Genuinely one of the smartest and wittiest guys on this app. I remember when he went all in for Trump in 2016. It was a pretty unpopular position to do so. I grew up on Saturday morning newspapers with Dad reading Dilbert strips. The humor was a bit too old for me to understand, praying for a miracle.
Just read, you can get GcMAF down there. You need to look up GcMAF and get some. GcMAF. What is GcMAF? GcMAF. GC protein derived macrophage activating factor, a protein that occurs naturally in the human body involved in the immune system. It's produced by modifying a protein called vitamin D binding protein. While GcMAF has shown promise in some research contexts, particularly immunotherapy for cancer, there's no credible evidence to support claims that it can rebuild the immune system, eradicate early stage cancer, or cure disease like breast, bowel, or prostate cancer. Okay. But it's good to know that it's out there, right? But also take it, be perceptive. No, be perceptive, be wary, be conceptive. What? Do something.
Scott Adams gives solid words of wisdom after revealing his cancer diagnosis.
Hey, Dugsky. Hey, Dale and Gibbs, stuck in the shopping centre getting supplies for the weekend. Well, I hope everything goes well there. Get those supplies, get them good.
I realize for some of you, this is hitting you hard. You're hearing it for the first time. Everybody has to die. Oof, I'll play you that in just a second. Dilbert creator Scott Adams has announced that he's terminal prostate cancer on a YouTube live stream. My condolences.
No death announcement? Okay, cool. Thank you, Dale. Thank you for checking, man.
It's brought a tear to my eye. Scott Adams, Dilbert creator, announces he has prostate cancer and his bones are too weak and that he has just months to live.
Dale,
Scott is a
just
mutual.
Out of curiosity, the Benny show, this guy here, you watch him regularly. Does he normally talk really, really quiet and then loud and then really quiet? Or is it just because of the context here? He's talking about someone passing away. He needs compression on his vocal. It's so up and so down. Like it needs to bring those two together. That's why the holistic doctors here in the States were murdering for treating people with it. Oh, wow. People were getting treated with that GMCH? Yeah, okay.
With a fantastic following, a great body of work.
It's typical of his delivery. Okay. I would like him to apply compression to his vocals. I'm just watching the levels and they're just so the distance between the high and the low is just too great for a YouTuber. He needs to compress that.
And he's had a very notable awakening in the past few years. He said he's kept the diagnosis hidden because people online would be cruel. Keep in mind, while you rejoice over other cancer diagnoses, nobody's rejoicing. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to, and this is obviously the famous Dilbert comic. This is the Dilbert Daily X account. And when it comes to this, you can have intellectual consistency. We've said in every single recording about this with Joe Biden that it's horrible. We would never wish cancer on anyone. It's awful. And no one is celebrating this. Because Scott Adams...
You can look up Dr. Bradstreet. He was killed for treating a cancer and autism with GcMAF. Oh, okay. Heavens above. Someone killed him for that. Damn.
Adams wasn't president. Joe Biden was president. And that bears with it the constitutional weight and responsibility.
Wait, Dale, your glasses look just like his. You wear glasses? I never pictured you for a glass guy. I mean, I've only ever seen blue screen static, so I don't actually know what you look like, but I just never factored glasses in there. What, are you blind? You can't see properly? Get that checked, man. Says the glasses wearing 49-year-old. I'm turning 50 soon. Holy shit. 50. I'm turning 50 soon.
Of the office, and so you need to start asking other questions like
50. I'm turning half a century in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometime soon, at the end of this month. That kills me. You know what though? Now, I'm getting a little buzz off this homebrew, but I've had a pretty good run. I can't really complain. I mean, I definitely can't complain. I've had an excellent run. I've had the greatest run that some might argue it's the best run. My run's been really good. But 50, it's already accumulated 50 years. Fuck. That's interesting. Stop your bitching, Grandpa. Big Pharma doesn't want you using anything that don't want money off. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So the GcMAF isn't really... Yeah, okay, I get you. I see where you're going, yeah. I kind of want to... No, I won't. No, I'll just keep going.
The president was terminally ill. Why didn't we know? That's a good question. But Scott Adams is different. He's a private citizen. He draws comics. He writes books. So it's totally different. The diagnostics of this is a totally different thing than the morality of it. That's what makes it consistent. While I see the left celebrating Scott Adams' diagnosis, no one's doing any celebrating of this for Joe Biden on the right, but it's worth asking the questions because there are large political ramifications. There are societal ramifications. You should know when the president's terminally ill, is what we're trying to say. That's it. Nobody is celebrating. It's what makes it, see how it's intellectually consistent? We're sad for Scott Adams and Joe Biden. We do not wish this on either.
It's not under Big Pharma patent, just like ivermectin. Okay. That's the horse tranquilizer that people were using to treat COVID, right?
Even though I have a lot in common with Scott Adams and nothing in common with Joe Biden. See how that locks in? Yeah. We love you, Scott Adams. We're praying for you, your character and example for everyone to follow, especially young men. You've devoted your days to moving humanity in a positive direction. You've always shown up for those close to you and even strangers. We're all grateful for you, says Cernovich. Scott Adams brought America to the edge of the golden age, like Moses up on the promised land. Scott Adams is a true American patriot who not only impacted our national politics, left an indelible mark on American culture with the creation.
Do you know what?
36 years ago. Is it really that?
When I haven't been live as consistently as the last week or so, I've kind of missed watching content like this, like because I didn't know about this, and we got tabs like lined up, and I'm thankful that I've kept all those tabs out so I can go through this. I guess what I'm saying is I'm stoked to be streaming again more consistently and being able to kick back and like watch this content with you guys. That's the human medicine they told you was for horses. Oh, okay.
That long ago? It rivals The Simpsons in terms of longevity, which is beyond impressive. I'm quite devastated. I just heard Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, has
ivermectin won a Nobel Prize for human use, not horses. So is there something to be said about that? Then why would they not? Why was there big controversy about using it to treat COVID?
This podcast, Coffee with Scott Adams, since its inception, nearly every day, even before it had a name, when it was just a Periscope.
Periscope, remember that?
No, I've never met him in person. I've toured his home, shared vacation highlights, marriage, divorce.
You know what? Huge cheers to all of our mums. Okay. I'll cheers to that. I've had an incident this week. I'm not going to delve into it, but I'll cheers to our mums. They're a force to be reckoned with. I'll just say that. They're a force to be reckoned with. Good on your mums. And I'm not isolating individual mums. I'm just saying they are a force to be reckoned with.
Death of his cat, spending a little time with Snickers and his dog. I have no words to express my feelings except to say thank you for everything.
Just Rev, they didn't want you using anything that worked, or they could have never got those damn shots on the market. Okay. Look. I'll just wind it back a little, and I'll say even though I'm all about a good deep conversation, I don't think a COVID convo right now would be. I don't know what it would achieve, but I will say this, and I've said it before. If I could go back in time, I would not take the jab. I would not have those 2 shots. I'm stoked I never got a booster, never did any of that, but I had 2 jabs of AstraZeneca. And AstraZeneca is the one that the manufacturer of that product pulled it from the market saying there are too many instances of this going wrong, therefore we're no longer selling it. We're not doing it. That's the one I've had. And I'm very, very upset that I took any of them, but I'm even more upset that my local GP, my local medical center, said you should have this one. I'm super upset that I did it, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed at that. And I feel like I've lost a certain percentage of my taste. Now that sounds crazy, but I definitely don't have the same visceral reaction to eating salt and vinegar chips that I used to have. Now you might say, probably because you've had too many of them, right? You probably eat too much. No. I don't eat that much of them. When I used to grab a bag of Red Rock Deli with Marty, the first one would just be this big sensation. Now it's like a sensation. It's not this big, they might have changed the recipe. No. It's other things. It's things like Worcestershire sauce on scrambled eggs. It's that. It doesn't have the same balsamic vinegar on a salad. It doesn't have the same bite. It's there, but it's all muted. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but what's changed over the years? COVID, having this injection. That's the only thing I can put it down to. Just Rev, those shots were only given emergency use authorization. There's no other treatments, so they lied about ivermectin. Dulling of taste is common. Look, yeah, and if I could rewind and go back, I would buy more Bitcoin and I would not get injected with a jab. Absolutity.
Scott Adams. Devastated to hear Scott Adams' work.
And I'd brew more brews as well.
Of our lives, America is losing an icon. Scott Adams, a rare man who impacted so many people, will never really know the gravity of it. And he says here his life expectancy is not likely to go past this summer. Some peace to know he'll live on through those of us impacted. Everyone lift him up in prayer. Let's get some love going.
By the way, I know we've been pausing and been commentating, which you're meant to do to make it transformative, but this video from Benny feels like he's already died. This guy, Scott Adams, is already dead. Like, it seems a bit too morose. He's just been diagnosed. He didn't die. He's still not dead. I don't know. It's one thing to, I don't know, like maybe announce it and say we're all feeling for him and let's do the whatever we can to support him. But right now it feels like this is like a posthumous video. I'm going to join you in a beer. Number 1, Florida Man. New one. Oh, number 1. There's a new beer called Florida Man. Okay. Is it like a Sierra Nevada, the same dudes?
On Scott Adams, says Jack Pasovic. Scott Adams' book and show altered the direction of my life forever. Thank you.
By the way, how rad is it now that we've completely sussed out all that shit for my stream? Like, there's no problems with my stream. It's just clean, perfect what it was. We've sussed this out. I'm stoked.
Goes out to you, Scott.
Because you guys know me. I was always worried about the tech. And I was like, why is my tech messing up? It never used to. We used to do this and it was fine. Something's wrong. And I was trying to change different ports and different cables and different layouts. And I bloody updated my OS to Sonomania, whatever the new one is. I'm on the most current Apple OS. I had to go and do all of the updates. Cheers, Paul. I had to go and do everything. I had to reset everything. And I did. And all it was Social Ninja, the chat. All it was the chat causing the issues. Now I've got it sussed. I'm so psyched. This is sick. Can I get a this is sick? I need a this is sick.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I need a this is sick.
The internet is completely littered with big time accounts talking.
This is sick. I love the way he hits that. This is sick. Tooth Boy. This is sick.
About the incredible impact that Scott Adams has had on their lives. So if you want an actual profile in courage and selflessness, check out Scott describing what his outlook is, knowing that he has terminal cancer. Godspeed, Scott Adams.
He's not dead yet, man. Come on, dude.
Now, I realize that for some of you, this is hitting you kind of hard because you're hearing it for the first time. Weirdly, since it's old news to me, I've just sort of processed it. So it just sort of is what it is. And I have to say that, everybody has to die, as far as I know. And it's kind of civilized that about how long you have, so you can put your affairs together. And
That's
make sure
true.
you've
That's true.
said your goodbyes and done all the things you need to do.
That's true.
So if you had to pick a way to die, this one's really painful, like really, really painful. But it's also kind of good that it gives you enough time while your brain is still working to wrap things up. You might wonder why it took me so long to tell you, and I think I owe you an answer to that.
No, you don't. The fuck
Number
do you?
one.
Why do you know? You don't know anyone an answer to that, dude. Jesus, it's your own thing. Just read. My brother knew he was going to die. They had already cut most of his throat away. Did he get time to sort of sort out his affairs and say the farewells? Hope so.
It would change my life because everybody would start treating me like the cancer guy. You can't really like there's no second way that goes.
Well, I mean, if you are the cancer guy, people will treat you with respect and dignity. Now, on the other hand, if you fake cancer like Boogie2988 did, then you're going to cop a flogging. But if you've actually legitimately got a terminal cancer, then I think the internet, and you're online and you're a persona, I think the internet will, you'll probably get treated a little differently. They'll stop the trolling. They'll treat you with respect. You know that they know that you're going to be passing. If you faked it though, which this gentleman obviously hasn't, I'm assuming, right? I don't even want to go down that avenue. I'm so grateful I'm blessed to have met you both, Benon and Jimbo, many others. Yeah, Dale. It's been a good ride, man. It's been a good ride. Been a great ride.
Once you go public, you're just the dying cancer guy.
He fought the cancer for years. This is your brother, Just Rev. Would have beat it, but he took the con job 19. Con job, nice. I haven't heard that before. The con job 19 shots and they're causing trouble. Dude, is that factual? I don't want to take away from the severity of that your brother did die, but are you linking it to the jab? That's a big link, but if you have the facts, then you have the facts. That's horrible to hear, dude. And fuck, I don't even want to contemplate that could happen. But if you say he fought the cancer for years and he would have beat it, but he took the jab and that killed him. Fuck, dude. That's horrible.
And I didn't want you to have to think about it. And I didn't want to have to.
I'm not telling you anything that cannot be proven. Okay. I mean, we take your word for it, dude. You obviously have the medical reports and everything. Yeah, that's horrible, dude. I'm sorry for that. Like, so what would have been the prognosis without the jabs? Like, would he have had longer or was it still terminal? Damn, dude. What a shit time. What an absolute shit time. Not only is the world in lockdown and everyone's losing jobs and income, but you got to put up with this other element that my brother's already ill and this is going to actually push him over the limit. I vouch for Jimbo's integrity. Cool, Dale. I got it. I get it. I hear it.
Think about it. You should know, well, if you didn't already know, I am unusually mentally tough. So while this could be much worse, for some people, I suppose.
Watch this. Gaming Horse will say, welcome to party. Watch this. The very next chat, Gaming Horse 9PJ will say, welcome to party. Wait for it. It's going to say, welcome to party. It killed one of my cousins too. She had her cancer beat, took the shots, and it came back with a vengeance. Damn, dude. Fuck.
I'm handling it quite well. The pain is tough. I mean, really tough. But the mental part, I got that under control. And I can see in the comments that some of you are having a tough time with it. But remember, nothing lasts forever.
Wow.
Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, but that's your life you're talking about. Benny Johnson, folks. Let's move on. What's this? How Boston fooled the world with more than a feeling. Okay.
Profession.
It's going to be bunk resolution. For some reason, all these resolutions are bunky. Let's go to 4K, 2K.
Professionally, I've always thought of myself as an engineer.
Just Rev, her oncologist was shocked that the cancer was riddled with her 2 months of getting the shots. Okay. Dalesky, Boston rocks. I'm going to plead ignorance here. Of all of my music knowledge, which is absolutely... Hey, hang on. How can I smoke myself hard here? I know a lot about music.
Yes.
I don't know anything about this band, Boston. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Music was strictly a hobby.
We all know this one, don't we? It's an absolute classic and go-to for countless cover bands and rock bars all over the world. If you don't sing along to this one, there's something wrong with you. But like so many great tracks...
I don't know what he's talking about. What song is he talking about? He can't play it because it's on YouTube. Gives fail. Bow. Do we have a fail? I have a fail. A fail, man. You know what? Look, I'll be the first to acknowledge this. in all of my musical history and my musical forays and my musical knowledge, there are still massive gaps of music, massive gaps. And I don't mind acknowledging that. Like I don't have a problem saying I don't know that band. I want to know them. I don't know them. That's the beauty of it. There's still more to know, right? Boston was a great band, damn straight.
It was almost lost altogether. So what's the story? Well, it all started in the late 60s and early 70s with a very clever young man named Tom Scholz. A classically trained pianist, Scholz gained a master's degree in mechanical engineering from the very prestigious MIT, where he also morphed himself into a multi-instrumentalist whilst playing with college bands. It was during this time that he met drummer...
Look at that tooth gap. That's an almighty tooth gap. Mind the gap.
Jim Mazdia, and they started recording demos together. Singer Brad Delp would also come in around 1970, but they still weren't technically a band. More on that later on. It was also around this time that Scholz started utilizing his...
Fill that hole. Is it just me or is his audio out of sync? What resolution we got going on here? We're on 4K. I'll drop it down and see if it... I feel like it's not in sync. Boston's first album is guitar-shaped spaceships leaving the Earth as it blows up. The artwork? Okay.
Mechanical knowledge to make homemade effects pedals and even recording and production gear. Some of this would be used on the future hit.
If I need a sound that I can't get with my normal setup, with my normal guitar, I'll put together any combination of effects or whatever, or invent a new one, you know, whatever it takes.
This sounds a lot like Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth are famous for just creating obscure tunings just to match the song. Like Thurston Moore will just retune his guitar and he won't even know what he's done with it, but it'll be like, no, that fits. Kind of the same stuff here with different effects and pedals and stuff.
Scholz's high qualifications had earned him a decent job with Polaroid, and so he had a bit of money to spend on his musical projects.
Polaroid.
It wasn't exactly flush. Despite having good resources in the audiovisual engineering world, paying for studio time quickly started to mount up.
This is one of your girlfriend's favorite songs, More Than a Feeling, Dale? Okay. That's cool. Okay.
He did what any self-respecting amateur musician would do. He built his own studio.
There's no need for the, you know, the fancy stuff that goes on in a typical recording studio. You know, I don't have any use for the pinball machines in the playroom and the lounge chairs. Well, now I could use a lounge chair because I got an injured back last year. But what I need is just the basic.
Boston did their first album with that label, so they weren't signed to anybody. That's pretty common. Self-funded, self-produced, toured, and yeah, then they attract the attention. Yeah, that happens.
Necessary equipment. No more complication than required. As soon as you add on more channels than you need or more gadgets, you have more trouble.
Squirreled away in the privacy of his bodge job studio, Scholz worked relentlessly to try and get his musical visions off the ground. Unsatisfied with the musicianship of those he tried to bring in, Scholz would play every instrument other than drums, normally played by...
Got a Dave Grohl in the house here. I'll do it all. You know, Dave Grohl is famous for the Foo Fighters' first album, the Pistol one. Everything was done by him. And that's credited as Dave Grohl, everything. But then the next album, he actually had a session drummer, and he wasn't happy with those drums. He went back and re-recorded it all. Jimbo knows his music, so does Dale. Fuck you, Gives. I genuinely don't know anything about this band, Boston. They got screwed by their manager and promoter they hired. Yeah, okay.
Now, he was a perfectionist. He would spend years refining and re-recording demo tapes to be mailed out to music labels and producers. But no luck. None of the labels were interested, and Scholz even once got a letter of rejection from future label Epic. Epic flat out rejected it and sent me an insulting letter. I have that letter framed now, but it said that there was nothing new about this music and they were in no way interested.
Wow.
And later, someone went through the proper political channels with Epic and all of a sudden they were interested. Still, we didn't get signed until they heard More Than a Feeling.
Wow.
However, it wasn't wasted time. Schultz had taught himself about every facet of music production and recording, as well as honing his songwriting skills on multiple instruments. He had effectively turned...
Can I just pause to say that it's interesting to note that these kind of video essays on YouTube, while they are... let's say they're educational, and I'm not specifically talking about this one. I'm just talking in general. These kind of essays that are put together by some random YouTuber, they're educational, they're interesting. But what you need to know is that they're only there to generate views and therefore ad revenue for the creator. The way you can tell is that this video is never going to feature the song More Than a Feeling. Why? Because if he did put that in, all the money from the video would go to Boston or the label or whoever owns the rights to the song. So you have to understand that what we're seeing, it's like, it's hard to explain, but we're on a seesaw, right? We want to learn about something, but yet for me, I don't know the song he's referring to. I'm sure I've heard it, and if it got played, I'm sure I'd be like, oh, that song. Okay, I know that song. But here we are watching a video about a song we're not going to hear. Why? Because if the song got played, all the ad revenue would go to the creator. So while the channel looks like they're smoking Boston, they're actually just kind of siphoning from Boston's creativity to the point where they're not going to play it for you. They're not going to show you the song, but they'll do everything else and monetize it for their own gain. I just want to put that out there. That's the contract we've got here right now. I needed this beer and tunes with friends. Hell yeah, Dale. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm the same. Boston's had several hit songs. There's 10 years before they came out with their third album. Okay. I just wanted to put that out there. That's the process we're going through here.
Himself and Mazdia into a two-man band. At
Hey,
least on tape.
Sophia's back over on YouTube. Hey, Sophia, I made you can we all just acknowledge I just got a new mod on YouTube. Sophia, and Dale, you're a YouTube mod for me. So Dale meets Sophia. If there's ever someone that I would grant moderation, what's the word? Credentials? What's the fucking word? I don't even know what the word is, but you don't need to do anything, but if shit goes down in YouTube town, you can delete and mute people. I give you full reign. There's the song link. Right, so Dale, at this point, I won't play that because then my monetization will be given to Boston. So I'm just saying, even though I've just explained it about this guy and how it all works, I also won't play it because I don't want to lose whatever I'm getting for. Privileges is the word you're looking for. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Sophia. And Dale says, what to do. So just as a heads up, Dale, Sophia can't see your chats unless she's looking at the stream and she sees the on-screen chat. She's in the YouTube chat, but yeah. I don't know how much you want me to reveal here, Sophia, but I'll just keep it surface level at this point.
When he sent out tapes to record companies, his plan was to basically fool them into thinking this was a full band being recorded and produced in a studio. But it wasn't. It was him, all his instruments, and Mazdia in a basement.
I knew that I had to do it alone, so the only way that was going to happen.
Sophia says, I don't know any of the other streaming platforms. Yeah. So what I do, and I guess this is to get more reach to my streams, I broadcast everywhere. And then using the beautiful beamstream.gg, I can pull in all the chats into one. So you can see on screen you've got Kick, YouTube, and DLive right now. There are other platforms that no one's chatting on, but yeah, I feel like it's good for people to be able to watch it wherever they want. Like, there are benefits to watching on Kick because you can trigger alerts. There's benefits to watching on YouTube because you might pay for a YouTube Premium. You won't get any ads. I don't know. Like, I just want to keep it kind of give the option to the viewer. I never want to ostracize one platform over the other, even though back in the day I was so like deadline focused for DLive. I've given up on that. Once DLive kind of disintegrated. I've been more like, okay, you choose wherever you want to watch it. That's fine. I'm derailing the stream again. I'll piss off again. Toodles. No worries. No worries. All right. No worries. Sophia, folks, in the house.
As if I built my own little studio and ran it myself. Very time consuming, of course, because I have to, I'm the only engineer.
By the way, if you're still here, you're not derailing anything. This is what live streaming is about. I've always said that the audience dictates where we go. So I have my outline of what I want to do, and then the audience comes in and goes, no, we'll do this. And I'm happy for that. So that's the reason. Let me just confirm this. The reason it's a live stream is because of the chat. The chat makes it not a video. If you were to put this out as a video, you don't have this instant interaction with the chat. But because this is live, the chat can sort of influence the content. And I've always appreciated that, and I've always given that credit so that when we are live, I can say, I got this concept I want to do, and then someone will go, no, I want to talk about this. And then I want to call in and discuss it. And that's better. Like, I love this. I like this Sophia Chiquita. Like even. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too.
And I'm the producer. I'm the, the guy that restrings the guitars, and of course I have to play all the parts.
Even Brad Delp was fooled when he was sent demo tapes to sing over, thinking it was a complete band at times. Understandably, after 5 years of perseverance and rejection, Schultz was starting to lose motivation and money. And so without much hope, he prepared and sent out one last demo tape. I had enough money for one last demo and sent it off to 24 companies, then figured I'd sit back and wait for the rejection letters. Lo and behold, 3 major labels were interested. I couldn't believe it. This last Hail Mary included more than a feeling and finally grabbed the attention of the record label.
One-man band, Cough Cough Benin. Let me just stop you right there. Oh, no. No, let me be super clear about this. There is no one is ever gonna contract me to make music. Never. That's never going to happen, right? No label is ever going to say, hey, we heard a couple of your songs and we really we want you to sit down and make a full record under our label. That's never going to happen, right? The other thing that should be noted at that point, or at this point, is that that's not what I want anyway. Well, hold on a second. I wouldn't mind that if a label said, we think you're so fucking dumb with this that we want to jump a bunch of money, like drop some money onto you and see what you can do. If we give you enough money to dedicate 8 months to making a full album, what fucking demented shit could you come up with? That would be cool. But I have no aspirations of that, and I have no real desire for it. But if it happened, I'd talk about it. I'd entertain it. Me and music is purely for the subjectivity of my friends. Over the years, I've enjoyed giving my music to my friends, and they've been like, the fuck have you done, dude? What is this shit? Really? Pie without sauce? What's that crap, man? What are you doing? I like that response. I never want them to say, oh, you've gotten really good at the guitar and you can sing well. That's boring. I'd rather them go, what the hell? What did I just hear? And most recently, I don't know how much of this I'm going to reveal, but most recently there's been someone that's heard my music and they've been like, well, I thought I was a weirdo, but look what we've got here. You are the weirdo. In fact, I've been dubbed the king of the weirdos based upon my music. So at this stage, even though the idea of being paid to make music would be rad, most times, and from what I understand with Tracer and just being a little bit on the side watching that stuff, usually a label will advance you money and then you've got to pay that back through record sales or touring. Now, let's be clear. I probably wouldn't be touring my music. I don't know how you could make a live show out of what I've done. I mean, I'm not adverse to it, but I just can't really see that being feasible at all. So if I got an advance, are they saying here's 10 grand to spend 6 months recording an EP, let's say, let's break it back to an EP. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm going to need X amount of money to cover my rent, X amount of money to pay the bills. And then I'll give you 8 tracks in 6 months, and then you can sell them, market them and sell them. But fuck, man, what? My shit? There's no chance that's ever going to happen, right? Like, it's comical to even think of. Reminder, Poopsie needs to duet with you. I mean, we've done some stuff together, Poopsie and I. Is always what the hell. Right, you know Dale. Yeah, speaking of here's H-Man. How you doing? Coming in swinging. How you doing, H-Man? So I'm not under any, there's no chance that that's ever going to happen, so I'm not confusing it. That said, I will obviously continue to make music. I've got a new focus right now. There's been a big change in my life, and I've been writing stuff. I've been jotting down notes, and I've been jamming and just making riffs. I've got a lot of inspiration from some stuff that's gone down recently. And so there is going to be new material coming, but it's just going to be more of the same umness from me, right? It's going to be more crap. Duncan contacted me. Duncan, well, we chat, but Duncan said, hey, man, I've got an idea. Why don't we collab on something? And he wants to do it pretty low-key, but I know we talked about Pointy Logo Band back in the day, and we talked, and Duncan came here and did some stuff. This is different. This is Duncan saying, I want to do something with you. Let's do something. So there'll be some project with Duncan. You might not see it for a year or two, right? At this stage, no one's picked up an instrument, but the idea is solid. And I'm obviously going to record more That's material, but, you know, it's just going to keep me happy, keep you guys laughing. You'll hear it and you'll be like, the fuck? What on earth is going on here? Duncan's an interesting dude. That call in, yeah, Duncan's cool. Duncan, how is Duncan? I mean, look, I VR, like we do voice recordings once a week. I respond to his and he sends me 7 of his. Like he's vicious with it. Like I get message. Can I just say it? I've got a girlfriend. Can I just say that? I've got a girlfriend and I get messages from her. I get way more. Duncan's my boyfriend, right? I get messages from him in the same, like, what's the word? Not tenacity, the same. It's the same velocity. No, he sends me lots of messages. Prolific? No, that was not the word I'm looking for. Hey, there's Poopsie Rico, man. Thank you on DLive. So yeah, when he said we should do a project together, I'm like, okay, but we've tried this before, Pointy Logo Band, and we just talked it up and we never did jack shit. So at this stage, I'm just leaving it for him, and we're going to use like Dropbox. We're going to just share files and just, I'll write a riff, or I want to do it differently. I said to Duncan, if we do something together musically, I want to save my That's material for me. I've got like truckloads of it in my phone of just riffs and shit. And I want to save that for That's with whatever we do. And we're going to call it by the way. We're just going to call it There's been Umness, which is That's Umness. And we've got That's which is me. No one's ever started a band just called So we're going to call ourselves yeah, right on And I'm going to send Duncan, I said, I'll send you just like vocal stuff. I'll just sing a vocal part. Like I'll write lyrics and I'll just sing them to you. And then you can go, okay, so that needs to be slowed down or sped up, and we'll put a beat behind it. Then Duncan will send me back a guitar part, and then we'll put a bass. I don't know. It's frequency. That's the word, Hendrik. Frequency. Thank you, man. Fuck me, I'm waffling. Who started me talking about music? Fuck Dale. Stop talking about music. Go fuck. Stop. What? Let's get back to Boston, man. This is actual music. I'm just waffling shit here.
With Epic eventually signing them. So finally, Boston had a label.
By the way, I got to take a slash. I'm still listening. I got my cans on. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I can pee from here with the length of this cable. I'll be right back, but I'm still listening. Don't think you're going anywhere, Boston.
The break. Except Boston was still basically just Schultz creating the whole project, with Brad Delp contributing vocals, which was a slight problem. See, part of the contract negotiations included that Boston go back and record all those demos that had got them a spot in the first place. even though those demos were rejected for years. As far as Epic were concerned, Boston happily agreed to do so in a fancy professional studio, with a producer of the label's choosing, John Boylan. Somewhat cheekily, Schultz had other ideas. He convinced the producer that the only way he was going to do this was if he could return to his basement and re-record it the only way he knew how. Boylan agreed on the condition that they would then mix the song together in a studio in LA. Epic thought it was being recorded by a real producer in a studio somewhere. The only difference is that Sib Hashian played the drum tracks on those versions. I did the exact same thing. I went back to work and I played all of the parts myself. When you hear More Than a Feeling, that's a couple of weeks of me relaying the guitar tracks down just the way I did on the demos. Brad did the same thing with the vocals. It was done.
You better shut down YouTube and play the song. No. I'm going to listen to the song in my own time. Look at Poopsie all over the screen. Poopsie, the trash can. Thank you, Charles. I love that. And you can trigger those yourself on Kick if you want. I love that, man. That's Poopsie's trash can. She talked about that the other day to me, actually, how she came up with that concept. It's this thing here. For those that don't know what we're talking about, I've got two Poopsie drawings on canvas. This one here. Let's get a focus on that. That's the trash can. I love that. And this is, I'm not sure what she calls this one. By the way, I'm really enjoying autofocus on the GH5, but I love these. And she put a name on the back too, Portia. I love both of these. She wanted to keep them. She wanted to take them away from me. And I'm like, no. These are Uncle Benny's now. You've lost the rights to ownership of those just because you're so young and cool. And I'm putting them up there on my stream, and therefore they're never going to move except when I show them off on stream.
But the record company didn't know it. He went on to explain that the poor producer probably only agreed because he was worried about losing that gig. And that
Speaking of Duncan, 3 minutes ago, are you watching, Duncan? No shit. Can I just stop and I'm just going to show you this. On screen, Duncan sent me this message. The Buzz demo was recorded 32 years ago today. That deserves... Of course, it's the bottom one. That deserves me. You know what? We're going to fucking play a Buzz song. We're going to watch Boston, then we're going to play a Buzz song off... The Buzz demo, right to Buzz, care of Duncan, 16 Bucknell Street, Newtown 2042, phone 557-3003, before there was a 9. We're gonna play a track off this if it's recorded 32 years ago to this day. No shit, it's right there. The Buzz demo was recorded 32 years ago today. We're playing that on the stream after we finish Boston. Oh, we also got to watch Tipsy Panda. We're going to watch Tipsy Panda, and then we'll play
he
Buzz.
supposedly split the producer's royalty check. Very cheeky. Deceptive or not, it was the right way to go. The song was an instant smash hit, and it's easy to see why. It's got those catchy riffs, a sing-along anthem feel.
I'm gonna message Duncan and say we're gonna play it on the stream.
Solo.
What? Is he playing the song? I guess everything I said before is invalid now. Well, I'll rewind. He's playing the song.
All those years.
Mind you, did you note that that was a live version? Possibly not going to get him a copyright string. Ding. Did you see the album cover? I didn't see it, Just Rev. My bad. Where was it? Oh, there. Now, you said way back when, I'm scrolling back up in the chat, you said the album cover, I'm just scrolling back up to where you said it, when you said it, how you said it. And I can't see it. Boston's without a label. They screwed by their promoter. Sophia's in the chat there. I can't see what you said about the album cover, dude. Yes, can't see it, man. You just repeated it. Guitar-shaped spaceships. Guitar-shaped spaceships, kind of. Oh yeah. I see them. They're okay. They're pointing away. Yeah. Okay. All right. I didn't see it before. They're pointing away. Yeah. I gotcha. All right. Boston. I see it.
The song was an instant smash hit, and it's easy to see why. It's got those catchy riffs, a sing-along anthem feel, an iconic solo. All those years perfecting his own sound and crafting his own equipment paid off. In years to come, Schultz would be praised for his signature guitar tone that others could never quite reproduce. This was largely down to having his own one-off bits of kit, but was also down to his meticulous approach to recording. The song is covered in layers upon layers of sound, with multi-tracked instruments, adding texture and depth. This is
Dale's link, Hendrik, but Hendrik, we watched your architecture in the Basque country. We watched what was the Guggenheimer building? That's not the Basque country. It was in Spain, but there's regional areas within Spain that are autonomous regions. Was it the Basque country? No, it was not Boston. Not Boston. Why am I thinking Boston? I can't remember where it was. Anyway, we watched it, and I did send Duncan a message, and he's responding right now. Look, I sent him a message saying, the Buzz demo. I said, well, with that in mind, we're going to play a track on stream. I'm live right now. What song would you like played? He says, I guess Cheese Grin is the winner. Cheese Grin. All right. We'll play that. We'll crank that in a little while. We still got other things to play.
But here, it was
I definitely want to watch Tipsy Panda. I want to catch up on Tipsy Panda for once.
Done beautifully. Boston's
Cheers to
sound
Duncan.
was a unique
Hell yeah.
thing that couldn't easily be emulated. And
Wait. Does that mean Buzz is going up against Boston, the two B bands? The only two bands that have ever began their band name with the letter B? Buzz and Boston. I don't know. Who do you favor here?
It's a trait of any great song or band, right? But funnily enough, despite its upbeat sing-along nature, the lyrics and inspiration are actually of a sad origin. Schultz has said that the song was
The
inspired
Boston Buzz. I like that. The Boston Buzz.
by a failed first love while he was at school, and is about the experience of heartbreak, eventually turning into a pleasant nostalgia. It started with a love affair I had when I was in school, so the song is written about something I went through myself. There was another song out then that
Sounds like a great
when I
combo.
heard it,
Hendrik's got some news. Hendrik, what have you got, dude? Do you want to lay it out on the stream? What's the news, H-Man?
It caused me to pine miserably for this particular girl, and so I decided to write my own song about those feelings. However, he's also said in interviews that it was a fictional event created for the song that anyone could relate to. But Marianne, it turns out, was a real person. Schultz's first cousin. Yeah. Would it really be a classic hit if there wasn't at least one weird detail in there somewhere?
Wait. He had a romantic encounter with his first cousin? That's not that... I mean, it's a bit sketchy, but it's not that bad, is it? Is being romantically interested in your cousin bad? It's a bit strange, but... Hendrik hasn't had any booze for 3 weeks. Hope I can keep that up. Oh, are you on a go slow, Hendrik? Okay, cool, man. Yeah, okay. Well, congrats, dude.
There actually was a real Marianne. She was my older first cousin who I had a crush on when I was 10. I ran into her many, many years later, and she was very annoyed at me for mentioning that she was my older cousin. Probably best not to think too much about that.
Okay.
Anyway, the song was eventually released in September 1976 as the lead single and opener of debut album Boston. It was a hit, entering at 18 and reaching number 5, finally introducing the band to the world and paving the way for their career. And to date, it sold over 20 million copies.
Jesus.
But it's enduring legacy that really shows the quality of this song. It's still a massive hit today. It's been used on countless TV shows and movies and referenced by several other bands, whether intentional or not. Many people have noticed that Nirvana's smash hit Smells Like Teen Spirit's main riff is almost identical to More Than a Feeling. But more importantly...
Whoa. Is it? Is it? I need Duncan to confirm. Is Smells Like Teen Spirit a ripoff of Boston More Than a Feeling? This needs ChatGPT machine. Fuck me. Without playing the song, where's the GPT machine? I'm opening up the ChatGPT machine. It's very similar. Okay. Let me ask it. Let me bring this. Oh, introducing ChatGPT 5. We got a new model here. Swishness. Is Smells Like Teen Spirit a rip? Oh, hang on. Is the guitar riff in Smells Like Teen Spirit, comma, a ripoff of Boston's More Than a Feeling? Now, I've done uppercase, title case there. Let's do this correctly. Is the guitar riff in Smells Like Teen Spirit? We just want to make it look, it's got to look good, right? It's got to be, hey, who did that? Who's oiing me over on DLive? Let's see. Kurt even said he was a Boston fan. Okay, it's not a straight ripoff, but there is definitely a connection, and Kurt Cobain openly acknowledged it. When Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit came out in 1991, some listeners noticed that the chord progression and rhythmic feel in the main riff bears a resemblance to the Boston More Than a Feeling. Both riffs share a similar descending power chord pattern. Okay, although not identical in key or exact notes. A steady driving 4x4. Okay, that's not really much. A kind of anthemic feel built on chunky palm muted power chords. Okay. Cobain admits in an interview that when he was first writing Teen Spirit, he was trying to write something more like the Pixies. I've heard this before. Quiet, loud. But at one rehearsal, he started strumming a progression that reminded him of More Than a Feeling. He even joked that he realized halfway through that it was basically Boston and altered it enough to avoid being an outright copy. Fuck you, Kurt Cobain. Who the hell are you ripping off an existing band? So it's more a stylistic nod or a subconscious influence than plagiarism. Or is it? Boston's Tom Schultz never sued. In fact, he said he doesn't think Teen Spirit is a ripoff. Just they have a similar groove. Interesting. If you like, I can break down the riffs note for note so you can. No. Instead, that's cool. That's cool. Instead, can you compare Nirvana's music to that of a local Sydney band from the early 90s. Early 90s? Yeah, early 90s, called Buzz. I hear a... Oh, wait. Strong rumor on the street is that Buzz was simply a Nirvana cover band. There. I said it. But I would like your opinion because I value the internet. Your opinion, as you may be able to confirm or deny these heinous allegations. Let's see. He's not going to know Buzz. ChatGPT is going to be like, who the fuck's Buzz? I couldn't find any credible evidence that a Sydney band called Buzz from the early 90s existed as a Nirvana cover band or as a band at all. In any musical archives, gig listings, or local histories, most results for Buzz Band in Sydney point to modern events and party cover bands. Okay. By contrast, well-documented Sydney bands from the era, like Nunbait, okay, supported Nirvana, okay. Okay, so they don't know the band. Should I upload a track? Let's see if I can upload a song. What Duncan wanted me to play Cheese Grin, I believe. Cheese Grin. So I'm going to upload Cheese Grin. I'm going to upload a photo or a file. Go to music, Buzz, B-U-Z, Buzz, the demo, Cheese Grin. Wait, where's the demo tape? There's so many versions here. 25th anniversary. We'll do the 25th anniversary. Where's Cheese Grin? Where's the cheese? Where'd the cheese go? Remixes, 1993. Here we go, Cheese Grin. I'll upload this. I'll say, here's one of their most loved tracks. Can you analyze and compare to Nirvana? Nirvana. Cheese Grin. Now ChatGPT has a version of Cheese Grin from the demo cassette, and we're seeing what it says. You're talking about Joker in the chat? Oh, Jake's in the house. Yo, Jake, how you doing, man? How you doing, Jake? Joker is still an asshole. Dude, I've not watched any of that shit from that guy. Okay. The track Cheese Grin runs for 7 minutes, 17 seconds. It's in stereo, has 44 kilohertz tempo rate. If you like, I can now break down its tempo, key, and chord structure, analyze the guitar tone, vocal style, and song dynamics, compare those elements directly to Nirvana's sound to see if the Buzz equals Nirvana cover band rumor holds any weight. Yes, please. Yes. Please do this. I'm interested to see what you think. I'll also give it this. I'll also add so that you can refer to this in the future that the band Buzz, fronted by Duncan Paget in the early 90s in Sydney, actually had their roots in the Sutherland Shire to the south of the city, the main city of Sydney. Notable gigs they performed included the Lithgow Tattersalls, Newtown Feedback, Oh, wait, we'll just call it feedback. Feedback in Newtown. Fuck, my 21st. My 21st at the Royal Hotel in Sutherland. And various other venues such as the Waterloo Tavern. No, that was GNU. Fuck, well, that was a wrong gig. That's not that gig. Various other venues around the area. Just see what it says. Analyzing. Oh, this is going to be interesting. You can't argue with ChatGPT machine. It looks like my audio analysis toolkit tripped over a compatibility issue. I need to take a different route to pull out the tempo key. Okay. I can still get this done by running a tempo detection. Different. Okay, do that. Do it. Do it. Don't tell me what you're doing wrong. Just do the thing. Actually, while that's doing that, we'll continue watching this.
More Than a Feeling is just a great time.
I'll take a quick
glad
slash.
It made it out of the basement and into the world for all of us to hear. Another song that was written in a basement and also nearly never saw the light of day is Bryan Adams' Summer of '69. There's a fascinating story behind that one too. You can click over there to watch it next.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, it's What Makes This Song Great, episode 71. The band is Boston and the song is More Than a Feeling. Coming up next. More Than a Feeling was the first single off Boston's debut record, which was released in September of 1976. I remember that because I had just started playing guitar, and everyone that played guitar had
Are you
to
kidding me?
learn-
Are you kidding me? I just left the room and listening, and that dude ended his video. The second I left the room, the dude ended his video. So I apologize for doing that, but I had to take a slash. Let's, well, we're not going to catch up with Tipsy Panda. I'm too busy. Learning about Boston and trying to celebrate Buzz 32 years ago. So, okay, so here we go. I said, ChatGPT says, I can still run a blah, 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 blah. And I said, do it. The early analysis pipeline reset when the first method failed. So my loaded audio data was lost. If you can reload Cheese Grin, I'll upload it. Okay, so I'm going to upload it again. Cheese Grin. Here it is. Here it is again. Macromatai started watching. Hey, Macromatai, how you doing? Good morning. Cool stream. Thank you. Thank you, Macromatai. Macromatai. Over on Beam stream. You're on Beam? Macromatai? It seems like I can't do more advanced. What the fuck? This is horrible. Okay, ChatGPT is not working for me. Just get this crap out of here. Give me the analysis. I can't. Okay. I guess we're not going to learn about how Buzz compares to Nirvana by ChatGPT. So what we'll do instead, we will, well, this is the first for me. I'm going to open up, I haven't done this before on stream for so long. Let's open up music, the music app. I don't know how this is going to work. I guess I've got to bring this, this is, just give me a, this might need a little tweakage. Either way, here is the music app. I'll just play some tunes and see if it comes through. I don't think it will though.
I like to watch you.
That did come through, right? That's Dido. That's Didosity. I don't want to play Dido, but that did come right through, right?
Sleep at night.
Yeah, you guys are hearing that. Yeah, okay. Well, that's not what we're here to play. So let's close that and search for the new music here. It came through, Just Rep? Okay, cool. We hear. Okay, cool, perfect. Okay. So let's search for Buzz, the demo cassette. Here is the artist known as Buzz. We want the demo cassette from 1993, which is this very thing I've got in my hands. We're going to play the last track, Cheese Grin. So let's do that. We'll scroll down to the digital version. Sutherland Police Citizens Youth Club, that's when they played there. 24th of July, 1993. $5 to get you in there. You'll see Dirty Flirts, Buzz, Havoc, and Lovely Dog. Here is Live to Dat, the demo tape. So, hey, Sirius, how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm happy to be here.
Not you, Siri. Not you, Siri. So I'll make this. Oh, it's gone on. I'll make this here, and we'll make it full screen. Wait a second. Where is that button there? Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so let's play in celebration of this cassette being recorded 32 years ago. This exact tape I've got right here. No noise reduction. 1993 Buzz. This exact tape. This is the version you're about to hear on stream right now. This is a celebration of Duncan's work at the peak of his performances. I've got myself a little port here. I've still got a little home brew. I'm just going to finish this brew. That's going to be weird. That is going to be weird. I'm going to have myself a cheeky port here. This was Sophia gave me this. I'm going to pour myself a port and I'm going to sit back. I'm going to mute my mic and we're going to listen to 7 minutes of Cheese Grin by Duncan, by Buzz, in celebration of this recording turning 32 years of age. Let's kill the mic and let's enjoy Cheese Grin by Buzz.
bother me. I'm gonna build all of this up in my head. I can't help but feel sudden jealous.
$32 ago, folks. That's when that was recorded. Straight to dat. The Buzz demo, the tape, the cassette that rocked the Shire, that definitely rocked my world. I was saying like, oh wait, there's still music playing. Pause that in the background. Look at the next one that came up, 1994 with a bullet, and that's Kurt Cobain's death scene. Duncan did that. Oh my God. This cassette, when it came out, this certainly lifted the spirits of everybody that touched this. This was rad. Like we're young dudes. We're all kicking around, and some of our friends made music that was really rad. And people have dissed it. People have complained. People have, you were just doing Nirvana. But that's what our inspiration was. That's what was kicking around the time, right? That's like, you're gonna be influenced by your influences. That's the idea of an influence. And so, no shit, this sounds like Nirvana, but it's not. It's local. It's our guys. And like, I got this from Duncan back in the day, and there's only like 15 of them or something that they made. And I said, man, I should probably give this back. He sat here and recorded that some material with me, and I couldn't even give it to him. I was like, you need this back, dude. You need to take it. It's yours. I've managed to maintain it for all these years, but it's yours. You should have it back. And he said, nah, I'd rather you kept it. Even though I've digitized it, I said, no, and he said, no, you should keep that. Way cool. Yeah. Pretty damn cool. Now, look, while we're here and we've got music up on the platform with my music machine, can I just check, out of curiosity, do I have any Boston in my I do have Boston. No, I don't. Artist? Yeah, there's Boston in here. Oh, because of Doug shunting fives. More than a feeling. Do you know what? Let's fucking do it. Let's just play the shit. I'll keep an eye on my YouTube, but here comes Boston's More Than a Feeling, and then we'll play Smells Like Teen Spirit. This is from Doug's Shunting 5 from 2021, Volume 6, Track 2 skins. You're going to laugh out loud at this. Suki's made it to Louisville. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Dale. Hold on a second. Make this full screen. Doug's Shunting 5 here, folks. Boston, More Than a Feeling. that song before. I mean, you can banish me from all music knowledge. You can say, dude, you don't know anything about music.
I just want to tell you how it feels.
I want to tell you how it feels. I don't know that song. Never heard it. Never heard it before. Is that wrong? Do I need to have known that? Am I 49 and I never heard Boston? Is that wrong? I mean, do whatever you want with that. But I genuinely just wow, or just rev, right? I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard that. But what I want to do, I want to bring up NIRVANA. Let me just do this. We bring up NIRVANA and we're going to hear the point of, well, what I could hear in that chorus or that pre-chorus, just the melody of the guitar progression. That's the same structure as Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. So they obviously were inspired by it. No doubt about it. Gives a fail for sure. Gives a fail. Nirvana, obviously I've got this in my collection. Nirvana. No, I can't spell it. Nirvana. So we want the 1992 album. Never mind. 1991, my bad. The opening track, surprise, surprise. Let's bring it up and we'll make it full screen here. And then some reason it pops over there. Look at the doodle on the screen there. Mr. Trance, how you doing, Mr. Trance? How's everyone doing? We're doing well, man. We are going to wrap this up very soon, but I'm going to play Smells Like Teen Spirit here just to see. We're going to hear the comparison in terms of the guitar progression. We're not listening for notes. We're not listening for sound. We're listening for melody, the progression, the way those chords move together. And it's only in this song, it's the basis of the song, but in that Boston song, it's that pre-chorus bit, and that's the only time you hear it. So we're going to listen for that and listen. band from the early 90s, NIRVANA, doing their best Boston impersonation. Look, I'll be honest, I can hear it. I can definitely hear that progression. Not the chords, not the actual notes, but I can definitely hear that strum pattern. It's obviously been inspired. I mean, I got to be honest. I'm of that generation. Like, I'm a teenager at that point when this came out. This shit is my shit, right? This is my jam, as the kids say these days. I lived through his death. I lived through this shit. And Australia was like, we were right at the forefront when this was popping. When that album popped off, Australia was key to that. Big Day Out tour. This was happening, right? Like, and like when you look at, like, if I can get poetical, when you look at like my friend's band Buzz and you look at all the music, Lovely Dog, the other bands that were kicking around the time, they're obviously inspired by this, because this shit was coming through the radio. Yet this shit was up in the local venue and your mates were in the bands. You had to go to the Big Day Out and the Hordern Pavilion and the Phoenician Club, and you had to go and sort that shit out. But if your mates were doing it, it was more accessible. So like, of course we all were inspired, and like I feel like when I hear NIRVANA, I get a weird feeling. Like I get this kind of like, not guilty, but I get like a fuck you all. Like, that was me. That's my genre. That's my generation. Fuck all of you from here on. You don't get that shit. We had it. The 1990s, that's me. Like, as much as I'm reluctantly becoming a 50-year-old male in a few weeks, I lived through the 90s and we had that shit. And that shit was fucking amazing. And like, they say every generation, oh, my music was better than yours. No. It was. Like, there's no question it was better then. There are snippets of that now, and you do see certain bands. I can think of a few. Hockey Dad, Slowly. Our favorites, Peter Bibby. You can hear Carnival. I saw them recently. There's definitely good music now, but holy fuck, back then, it just had an edge to it, and there was like, social media didn't exist. There wasn't many photos of the bands. You had to listen to the radio. It was harder to come by. You had to get the street press and search up the venues. That was way better, way better. Actually, was it better? I don't know if it was better, but it was different. And so therefore it's better. Different is better. It was overplayed on the radio. I mean, yeah, okay, that's a fair point, Hendrik. It was overplayed. I'd agree with that. It was overplayed. It was definitely overplayed. The thing is, it was so good that everybody wanted to hear it. So like, I guess you've got to kind of, do we really want to go down this avenue? I kind of do for a little bit, not too long, but there was a very distinct period, or a gray area of where alternative became mainstream. And like in 1991, in September of 1991, when this album came out, you would never hear mainstream commercial radio like Triple M, Today FM. They wouldn't touch this shit, right? Not a chance. Not a chance. Triple J was playing it, and underground radio, Triple R in Melbourne. These dudes, well, this band's cool. They're playing the Big Day Out. Of course we're going to support this shit. Mainstream radio? Fuck no. Not a chance. Not a chance. And then all of a sudden, this thing jacks up and skyrockets to like, this is the biggest band on the planet. And what do you start seeing? You start seeing Triple M playing it. Triple M playing NIRVANA, the biggest rock sensation on the planet. NIRVANA, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like, what? Do you even know what you're saying? Like, do you even know what this is? Doesn't matter. They're now pushing this into everybody's ears. Everybody heard it. So like, the select few that were already into cool shit got to see it and got to participate. And then the rest of the world came on and went, you know what? This isn't that bad. We like this. And that's when alternative became mainstream. And of course, you extend that further on and you got Chili Peppers and like, I don't know, like 9 Inch Nails and like even like probably even further like Faith No More and Slipknot and all these other bands. They all became Yeah, they're big names and like everybody loves it. Even Metallica back then, like Metallica, like that's headbanging shit, man. That's fucking weird. We're not going to touch that. No. And then the Black Album comes out and they're like, oh yeah, Metallica. Oh, the greatest rock band ever. The same band that did Master of Puppets and Kill 'Em All. That's the same band. You didn't touch that back then, but you're touching this now. Okay. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it happened. And so when people say there's better stuff happening, better music now, maybe there is. Maybe there's a little pocket of it going on, and there's certainly bands I've seen. Slowly, that band, I'm seeing stuff. I'm seeing it. But in that time, it was so hard to, it was just vast. It was too difficult to, like, you had to wait for the drum media and on the street. You had to get a physical publication and look, like, go through the pages and find the shit. Like, it's kind of cool. It changed everything and it overwhelmed Kurt. He hated fame. Yeah, like we don't know. I don't know Kurt Cobain. I don't know Nirvana. I'm just a fan. Like, I'm just one of the dudes that was like, wow, right? Like, wow. And then when I remember I was doing some housework my dad was building a wall and we were listening. My dad used to listen to AM radio. This is not FM, right? This is amplified modulation, whatever the AM spectrum was. On the AM radio in April of 1995, there's a report. Lead singer of grunge, there was all grunge was everything, right? Lead singer of grunge band Nirvana reportedly killed himself, gunshot wound in Seattle. And I'm like, I'm working and I'm like, I didn't have earphones on. I'm like, I'm walking over to the radio. I'm like, what? Hang on. Why am I even hearing the word Nirvana on AM radio? Like, this is like 2GB. Like, the very next report's going to be something about like the Sydney Roosters have accumulated enough points to become a finalist or some shit about just total like local news. But interspliced in that is Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain. They don't even know the dude. He's dead. Of Nirvana. Suspected drug overdose, gunshot wound to the head, dead. I'm there going, oh wow, that's fucked. Like what? Okay. I had no connection except for the love of the music, but it's like that's kind of pretty bizarre. Like that band was the top. Like this album had just been smashing it, and it's like now he's dead. Are you serious? And then what did we see after that? The MTV Unplugged album got released, and because of About a Girl, because of that one acoustic version of a song that came out on the album before this, they re-recorded it live, and suddenly fucking Today FM and all the cruisy more hits and more of it, they're all playing Nirvana. This is About a Girl from MTV Unplugged. And it's like, Are you really playing this? Are we getting Nirvana on like Today FM? Is that what's going on? Is that what's happening? We're seeing Nirvana on those stations. I was like, that's weird, man. Like now I've got you go into Target and they're playing Nirvana on Target across the airwaves. It's like, I probably should wrap this up. Courtney killed him, just rep. Either way, like I could rant and I would love to rant about this forever and booze up more and rant and rave, but I need Duncan by my side to fill in the blanks. But the point, the overall point of this is this cassette was heavily inspired by Nirvana's Nevermind, and the idea of this is that this was ours. It turns 32 today. Apparently, Duncan messaged and said 32 to this day. So I just wanted to give a salute to Buzz and to wax poetical a little bit about Nirvana, and also acknowledge that I don't know anything about Boston. My mum cried when Elvis died. Right on. I didn't cry when Kurt Cobain died, but I tell you, man, over the years since then, I've regretted that happened, and I have nothing to do with it. But I've been like, that's fucked, because what would have happened? It's kind of like, here I go. It's kind of like Tracer ending. The only difference is that nobody died when Tracer pulled the pin, but nobody gets the music anymore. We all suffer because there's no new Tracer music. There's no new Nirvana music, right? And I don't care about the reunions with someone else doing the vocal. I'm just saying once he popped himself, we all suffered because the world is robbed of a fucking rad musician and a rad songwriter. And the same with Tracer. So like, I could easily get into this deep and I could sit here for hours and just bore the absolute shit out of everybody, including myself. But instead, I'm going to wrap it up here and say thank you all for viewing and for being here with me. Everybody in the chat, appreciate you all. Just Rev's been here the whole time. That's cool, man. Thank you, dude. I know you're at DLive. You're a DLive dude. I appreciate you, man. Dale's here. Hendrik's here. Sophie's been here in and out. Duncan was kind of popped in, I think, for a bit, but he had to split. Look, thank you all for being here. Yes, there's more streams coming. There has been a big change in my life, and sometime soon we'll talk about it and we'll discuss things. But as it stands right now, let's get out of here. Cheers to Buzz for 32 years. Hell yeah. I don't know where you're ever going to find. You go to Bandcamp. Go to Bandcamp. Do you know what? Where is it? Let me give you a link. Let me give you a link. Let me just give you a linky poopy in the chat skis. I believe there's a Bandcamp for Buzz. Bandcamp Buzz. Let's search it up. I believe that he did it. He did it on Bandcamp. I'm sure of it. Buzzkill, music tag, Buzz 1. We'll just go to Bandcamp. Did I click it? I didn't click it. We'll just open it up. Buzzkill, that's not it. We'll just go to Buzz. Buzz Records, artists and labels. Buzzkill. Buzzcull, Sydney, Australia. There's an artist called Buzzcull. Okay. Low Buzz, Buzz Radio, Buzz 201. From France, Buzz in Budapest. Vienna, Austria. The Buzz. Fuck, really? There's no Buzz from Sydney? No Sydney. Okay, we'll search up Cheese Grin. Cheese Grin. I thought that he put it. Oh, that's spelt incorrectly. Cheese Grin. Cheese Grin. That's not spelt right. Still, man. The fuck is wrong with me? Cheese Grin. Cheese Grin. No. Okay. So I thought he had it on Bandcamp. He doesn't. Thanks everybody. Catch you later.